we have $0 in editing, marketing, about anything. Any part of it.
Honestly, that's the best way to do it. If you're gonna do it for free.
Yeah, we're doing it all for free. It's the friends and family discount. What we do here is that you got to be friends and family because we can't afford it.
I'm not paying for guests.
I'm not paying for anyone to come here.
Yeah, that reminds me. I'll have my secretary send my fee over.
It's now a bad time to mention it's $32,000 in legal fees. Forgot to bring that up to get me off the.
You owe me $32,000 in legal fees.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but fine. Chapter 11. We've been in chapter 11. Start with a cheers. A little cheers. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for doing it.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
For sure. It's been my dream to be
being one of the free guests after finding out about it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was immediately in.
I was just like, hey, I'll do it. Why not?
This fucking idiot. Come on.
Opportunity to build my personal brand.
Yeah. Start pitching yourself here.
I hope nobody looks me up on anything.
I kind of hope not either. Unless it's 100 million people, then I'll totally.
Well, yeah, I mean, at that point.
Somewhere between no people and 10 million viewers would be a pretty nice spot. You know?
Yeah, well,
leaning towards the 99999, but just.
I know Mark will see this. Shout out Mark.
Hey, shout out there, dude. First shout out. Love that.
Well, I was watching because I watched the one with Case.
Yeah.
When I was driving back, it was right after you did the one with Case.
Okay.
And when I drove back to Charleston.
Yeah.
I had that one on, nice. And then at the end, I went to subscribe, support, everything of that nature, and I saw Mark's comment.
Number one comment.
Yes,
we got one. I was like, first comment, first like.
Huge.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get on this. It's not too competitive for the first like or first comment, to be honest. But well, let's dive into it.
Let's do it.
Let's get into it. So, let me give a little brief overview.
Okay.
Because people are not going to see that shirt in this grainy video.
Yeah, no, probably not. I mean, it's just a white shirt.
Navy officer, now, correct?
Bingo.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Me and Tommy here met in high school, senior year. Cross country, all places.
Well, I think we met
before
that. We knew each other before
that.
that.
We became friends in high school.
Yeah, we became friends in high school, senior year.
Senior year. I think senior year,
because we were both joining the cross country team, but really for no reason.
Just
to do it.
Just kind of for kicks.
Just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, whatever. Screw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. Met there, not met, became friends there.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Got to know each other a little bit. During that time, you were looking into academies already. I was, doing all that. Then after that, go into the Naval Academy. Go through that amazing place. Super fun. If I get a grouch fit, I would totally just only have Navy people on here. No other service branch. Don't know if the Navy wants to hook me up with that, but that'd be sick. And then after that, now into nuke school. I'm gonna let you direct kind of how much you want to touch on that versus also how much you can touch on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
you don't have to go
The thing is, the parts that I couldn't talk about are so in the weeds that no one would want to talk about. No one would want to talk about that anyway. There's great if you want to talk about nuclear power. There's a great podcaster, and I cannot for the life of me remember his name, but he basically brings on nuclear.
We don't give free shout outs, so that's all right.
I don't. Okay, so good. That's
yeah.
If I think of it, I'll link it in the comments.
Yeah, if anything, you gotta come back and comment.
If you're interested in actual nuclear power.
Yeah, we don't.
Otherwise.
Unless you're sponsoring, no shout outs here.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's why we have Yeti cups, because I'm not giving anyone a free ride. Can't have some cans on the table.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about giving Yeti a free ride. I was like, wait a second.
No, we have duct tape over the Yeti logo, so hypothetically, this is a Yeti cup. Supposedly. That's what they say. But yeah, new school. Then we'll go into a little bit of your future, see kind of what we get to.
Alright.
So let's start from the very beginning. Childhood, what kind of drove you towards service? Probably weren't always Navy, but
yeah, I mean,
that
there's a couple things. Really, when I was a kid, I went through as I'm sure you did the same thing. Of basically a long list of things that I wanted to do. Yeah. There were times I wanted to be a doctor, I wanted to be a firefighter, I wanted to be an engineer, I wanted to be all kinds of different things.
Right.
And I didn't really start thinking about Like, yeah, I said I wanted to be in the military because I played Black Ops, and I was like, this is
sick. Cool.
This is awesome. But, like, I never really thought about it seriously until, like, 7th grade.
Yeah.
And I think the big thing that, like, made me look at it was the free school. Like to be perfectly transparent, like,
free school is pretty honest.
As far as like what initially got me interested was the fact that they would pay for my college.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know, like, I didn't even find out what like the service academies were until I was like a sophomore in high school. Like, I had seen like the Army Navy game and stuff like that, but I just kind of always assumed that it was a bunch of like enlisted guys that just like had a football team and they were playing and like they got to participate in college football as like, I don't know, a salute to service. Like, so I was like, all right, so I got interested because I was like, oh, going to college for free seems pretty cool. And then the more that I looked at it, the more I was like, wait, this is actually like a really cool thing. Yeah. And on top of that, it's like, I felt like personally, I was like, okay, so I'm either I could go to college for free and then I could be an officer in whether the Army, Navy, Air Force, like I looked at all of them at a different point. But I was like, so I can do that and I can like, I think the military does a really good job of like making you feel like you're part of something like important, right? Like that's a big theme, and like it makes you, for better or worse, it makes you feel like you are doing something really good. And so I was like, that was important to me. I loved like the service aspect of it. So I was like, okay, I can either do that or I can go do literally anything else and just basically work an office job. Like, those were my options, and I was like, well, this sounds way more fun. So,
so like sophomore year, junior year, you start like actually diving into like finding all opportunities, because it's a lengthy. It's not a normal college.
Yeah. So the service academy application process is very different.
Yeah.
Than most college application processes, and I'll talk about that in a second. But like, initially, I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to be a Navy pilot. I thought I was Tom Cruise. I was Maverick, dude. I was that guy. And even like going to the Naval Academy, that's what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really look at anything else before that. I was just like, hey, I've seen Top Gun. I've seen the Blue Angels. Like, that looks cool. I think I'll do that.
The Blue Angels have done a great marketing job.
Yeah, they have. They've done a really... they're sick. Those guys are so cool. But anyway, so I looked at... And originally I was dead set that I was going to do ROTC somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know what the service academies are. That sounds stupid, to be honest. I was like, that sounds really dumb.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can just go to a normal college and like, I'll still graduate, become an officer, still get it paid for,
Go do some PT.
Yeah, go do some. Yeah, maybe wear my uniform once a week. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Be all right.
And then my mom, so she taught with a woman whose husband went to the Naval Academy in like the 70s, right? Like long time ago. The guy's old.
Yeah.
He's old. But my mom was like insistent. She was like, I don't care if you like apply to the Naval Academy. But she's like, if you're really thinking about being an officer, you should at least go talk to this guy and like figure out what the Naval Academy like is, because she was like, it's stupid if you're like, oh, I want to be an officer, but like you don't pursue every avenue to do that. And I was like, you know what? It's a fair point.
You got
me there. So went over, talked to this guy, and what really got me to bite on the Naval Academy specifically is that everything is free. Like everything, it's so different because ROTC, right? Like, depending on the service, it changes. It's like Air Force ROTC will pay for your college, but in a certain way. Like, they'll give you like a certain amount of money that you can spend up to.
Yeah.
And then after that, they're not paying for it.
So you gotta hope like X equals X.
Yeah, kind of. The Navy will basically, they'll either be like, hey, we'll pay your room and board, or we'll just pay like your tuition or we'll pay both or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really know how the Army works, to be honest. Like, I applied for that and all that, but I never really was paying that much attention to it.
Yeah.
And so, like, the ROTCs work a little differently. Also, they'll do a thing where, like, your scholarship is dependent on, like, your GPA, and then there was something else where, like even I have a friend who, he did Air Force ROTC at Clemson, and, like, his first 2 years were not paid for.
Yeah.
So then, because you reapply for the scholarship, if you don't have it, you can reapply for it every year.
Until, like,
and you can get it to pay for at least, like, 1 year or 2 years
something.
or whatever. Yeah, for something. Whereas, like, Naval Academy, dude, like, you show up with nothing.
Is that all the academies? Like, all
yeah, that's all the service
So
academies.
once you go to, like, a service academy, it's just paid for.
Yeah, it's paid for. It doesn't matter what your GPA is.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're going to be put on academic probation and you might get kicked out or whatever.
You probably shouldn't fail out still.
Yeah, you still probably shouldn't, but, like, versus, because I think, don't quote me on this, I could be wrong, I'd have to look it up, but I think the GPA, I think the GPA requirement for, like, the Navy scholarship, like, the ROTC scholarship was, like, a 3.0. Like, which is not terrible, but it's, like, that's still a dependency versus, like, a service academy. If you have a couple bad semesters, like I did, I had a lot of bad semesters. I got my transcript. I had to send a copy of my transcript to, like, a licensing place to get, like, my EIT license. But so I got a copy, and I was like, wow. I had some rough goes. I was not always doing the best.
They let me keep going?
Yeah, I was like,
wow. These standards.
But, so,
yeah, I mean,
they will keep you, no matter what. You never are on the hook for anything. Like, you show up, the way it works is, like, you show up, and you immediately, whether you know it or not, you take out an $8,000 interest-free loan from the government to pay for all your stuff up front. And you, like, that gets you your laptop, your uniforms, everything of that nature, right? And then while you're at whatever service academy, you're getting paid as, like, a midshipman or a cadet. Or
is that after, that's like second, third, or is that off the road?
No, so you're getting paid throughout, right?
Okay.
But what happens is they take out, like, because it's like $1,000. Every midshipman, whether they're a freshman or a senior, makes the same amount of money on paper, but they take out more from the freshmen to pay off that loan.
Yeah. Okay.
So that, like, if for whatever reason somebody leaves, somebody gets kicked out, whatever, they can recoup as much of that money as possible up front.
That makes sense. So
yeah, which it makes sense.
It's like paying dues.
Yeah, it is basically, but, like, you never really see that.
It's much better than
because you're still making, as a freshman, you still get like $150 a month or something.
Yeah, so
I think it's changed since I've.
Yeah.
But, like,
you still get some money up.
It's still
month.
Free. It's
yeah.
still
it's
basically
free, and
free.
you're getting money.
Yeah.
So you know,
so I was like, oh, this is like a pretty appealing process. But yeah, I started really heavily looking into service academies like my sophomore year, I'd say, maybe like my junior year.
Okay.
I think it was my sophomore year because I remember I think I did something in between like my sophomore and junior year, but I could be.
See, I was curious about that because like junior and sophomore year is pretty early, I would say. So like
it is.
I would say the junior year is more like, but also like your process is quite a bit.
See, you don't really start applying until like your junior, like end of your junior year.
Yeah.
But you kind of like they offer a bunch of like summer programs and stuff. Like every service academy offers like summer programs and things of that nature where you can say like, oh, I'm a sophomore in high school. I want to come like see what West Point's like.
Sure.
Which is what I did.
Yeah.
And I went up there for like a week and it was like a camp thing. And it's like, it's for you, but it's also for them because like that whole time you're being like kind of evaluated.
Yeah, they're looking at
and yeah, they're looking at you and they're trying to see like, all right, like where's this kid at? Like, you know, is this something that we should actually consider or like, you know, is this kid just kind of here and like that's fine, handshake, thanks for playing, and move on. So like you don't start the application until like junior year, like end of junior year, but you are looking at like, I would say that I even kind of started a little bit later than some people. Mm-hmm. Like, I knew guys at Navy who, like, were going to Naval Academy stuff, like, in middle school. Like, they have a lot of programs and stuff for, like, middle schoolers, high schoolers, everything. So if you're aware of it, like, a lot of guys will go, especially from, like, really competitive states like Maryland. Okay. Like, Maryland's a super competitive state for the Naval Academy because, mm-hmm. like, everybody in Maryland knows the Naval Academy. Right. And, like, also, Maryland loves lacrosse. Navy lacrosse is, like, a really actually good team. Mm-hmm. So it's very... So it's well known around there. So they have a lot of people apply from there. So those kids will show up early and start getting in the mix. Whereas, like... It's kind of like going to, like, a Clemson football camp at, like, middle. Yeah, kind of. Like, I want to start going to this. It is a lot like sports recruiting in that way. Like, if you are, you know, and it's a little different in that, like, most sports recruiting is, like, you actually have to be, like, really, really good and get invited to go to, like, a Clemson camp. Yeah, or something. Whereas, like the Service Academy stuff, you just apply and, like, you probably get to go. Like, you know, you probably get to... We'll give you a look. Because it's really no skin off their back, and, like, you might show up and, like, surprise them and be like, oh, like, this kid's actually... Like, you can breathe. Yeah, all right, that checks off the box. You got an invite. But, I mean, really, like, the application process weeds a lot of people out anyway. Yeah. Like, a lot of people don't even end up finishing their application for whatever reason, because it's like a... Go through your application process from start to, like... So you open the application, and a lot of it is, like, bog standard college application stuff. Sure. You submit your transcripts, you submit, like, your SAT, ACT scores, like, things like that, right? There's a personal statement, and then the big things that are different is your nomination process and the and the interview that you have to do. So service academies have an admissions representative in, like, they have at least one in every state. When I was applying, I think the Naval Academy had, like, 5 or 6 in South Carolina. I don't know how many they've got now, but they've got at least one in every state. Yep. And so you will do an interview with this admissions representative from the Naval Academy to, like, kind of examine, like, to get their take. So you do an interview with them, and then you also have to be nominated, which is a senator, a congressman, the president, the vice president can all nominate you. I think there's also a process, like, if you are currently in ROTC somewhere, you can get a nomination through your ROTC department. You can also, I think, like, if one of your parents won the Medal of Honor, that's an automatic nomination. It's kind of a crazy. Not wild. Sure that applies to that many people, but
that's pretty bananas. But also the congressman, everyone gets one nomination. Is that correct for the state level?
So,
or is that
it's kind of convoluted. Okay. It's like, so, like, our senators, like Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott, they get. It depends on how they do it. They can pick, right? So Tim Scott specifically does his nominations in such a way that, like, basically he tells the Service Academy, this is who I want to go. And that kid is basically in, barring the Service Academy being like, absolutely not. Like, if you know, if there's some extenuating circumstance, something of that nature, right? That kid is basically in. And then, so he's got a list, he's got a top 10. Tim Scott does. Yep. He's got a top 10 and he says, all right, I want this kid to go. That kid, he might decline it. Let's say he chooses not to go and he chooses to go somewhere else. All right, well, then number 2 is going to go. Ranked 1 through, like, 10. So for Tim Scott, yes. Yeah. For Lindsey Graham, and that's how I got my nomination, he submits just 10 people in no individual rank, and then he lets the Naval Academy decide who do you want. So, like, me and 9 other people got a nomination from Senator Graham. And then the Naval Academy decided who of these 10 they wanted, whether it's 1 or 2. At any given time, senators and congressmen can only have 5 individuals at a service academy. So, like, Lindsey Graham, I don't know how many people he had at the Naval Academy, but I was one of his 5 until I graduated.
Okay.
So he can, let's say I was his only one there, which I wasn't. I know for a fact that I wasn't. Yeah. But like, if I was his only one, then next year he could send up to 4 people. Okay. But then, until those 4 graduated, he only has 1 spot to give after I graduate. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of like, if he fills up all his slots in 1 year, he can't nominate anyone else.
Well, I imagine you're sitting normally around like that 4 mark.
Well, I mean, normally you are...
I mean, because you have normally, like, you're going through the classes, you have,
Yeah, normally it's around 4 to 5, but, like, you're getting 1 graduate or 2 graduating every year so that you can always send somebody new. Yeah. Like, that's basically how that works. Mm-hmm. And then congressmen are the same way.
I mean, but so you're still looking at, like, a very limited spot versus, like, people applying.
Yeah, I think
because you're going to South Carolina, so you got 20 people between them that can be nominated, and they have, top
however many spots might be available. Yeah, so it's tough to gauge, I think.
But we're talking like a handful of spots.
Yeah, I think from my...
Give or take what that number is.
I think my year had 10 people from South Carolina go, plus or minus 2.
I would have to say there's more than 10 that applied.
Plus or minus, yeah, there definitely was.
Going off my unfactual assumption.
I think that...
it's probably more than 10 that applied.
I think that my year, the Naval Academy, was like an acceptance rate of like 7%. But but you got to keep in mind too, they do that acceptance rate based off of applications opened versus submitted, right? So like that acceptance rate basically says that people that didn't finish their application got declined. Or like people that...
So it's like...
Because you also have to do like a physical, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to go get an eye exam and you have to do like a physical and get approved. Because like with my knee surgery, I had to submit every document from that surgery. Like I had to go get my surgical notes. I had to go get all kinds of stuff from the hospital to then submit it to the Department of Defense Medical Review Board to get a waiver.
That's striking like fear from like being declined.
I mean, yeah,
because ACL tear.
Kind of, but like also, there are very few conditions that are like absolutely not, can't have them. Like sleepwalking is one of those. So like if you have a history of sleepwalking and you report that, that's gonna automatically give you a no because like if you sleepwalk off a boat, nobody's gonna find you.
I know.
Like you're screwed.
To the nuclear button.
Yeah. So.
Oh no! How'd that happen?
Yeah. So like sleepwalking is one of those things. Yeah. There are plenty of people. I would actually argue a majority of people at the Naval Academy have had at least one like orthopedic surgery.
Something major.
Something because most people are athletes that show up, right? So like a lot of them have had injuries, things like that. That they don't preclude you. Basically, it's just sent to the review board so that the review board, who's a bunch of doctors and things of that nature, can look and be like, all right, this guy is fine to do the things that we expect them to do, rather than just it being kind of hand wavy. They want like a more formalized process. I would also argue that like generally like if a service academy wants you, they're gonna get you. Like that's kind of how that works, and I don't think that's how it worked in my scenario. I just think that an ACL tear isn't that big of a deal. Like most people, not most people, but like a good many people have experienced that. Right?
I'd say ACL tear, MCL, ankle, something.
Yeah, things like that.
Arm broken or something.
Yeah, like those are not...
Something's been messed up.
Yeah, I mean, I had friends who had to submit stuff from when they broke their arm when they were like 4. Yeah. Like they want to look at everything that you've ever experienced.
Probably know everything on the table, so it's
not like... exactly. So, but like I said, that acceptance rate counts those people that their waiver got denied. Yeah. That goes into that acceptance rate. Whereas, like, I couldn't tell you what the acceptance rate was
of just
based on like completed, like
not waived
full applications, like completed applications with everything that they needed, but just on the basis of having that nomination, because there's only so many nominations to go around, right? Like even if you say like, all right, so how many congressional districts does South Carolina have? Like 6.
They're probably something close.
Yeah, 6. All right, so you got 6. So there's 60 nominations.
Yeah.
But those are broken up by congressional district, right? And then you've got an extra 20 nominations for the entire state. So you've got, from there, only 80 people in the state of South Carolina can have a completed application.
Yeah.
Like, that is just point blank.
What it is.
Yeah, unless they get a vice presidential or a presidential nomination.
Or Medal of Honor.
Yeah, or Medal of Honor.
Someone might get that.
Yeah, hey, you know what? More power to them.
But yeah, I mean, so you're looking at a very select. Well, I mean, yeah, it's very select for like the people you can get in for complete. But I mean, to make the, did you have to like just write an email or interview with the?
So every state,
like, how does that work?
Every state does it differently. Not even every state. Every representative, senator does it differently.
How they want to.
Yeah, and it also depends too, right? Because you think about it. How many people from Idaho do you think want to go to the Naval Academy? It's a landlocked state. A lot of them haven't even seen the ocean. Like, one of my really good friends, like he was my roommate during power school. And like, he was in my major. His name's Jake. Shout out Jake. He is from Idaho. And like, I remember him telling me something where like, there weren't very many people that applied from his state just because not a lot of them, like, they would want to go, like, they probably have a lot more applications like West Point or Air Force.
Yeah.
But like, proportionally, you don't live by the ocean, you're probably less likely to apply for the Naval Academy. So, like, some senators and stuff, depending on the state that they represent, might only require like a letter for you to ask for a nomination, and then perhaps some letters of recommendation or something like that. It might be like a more informal process. For South Carolina, it was a very formalized process. You can go to the website of your representative and then Tim Scott and Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
You go to the website, and then there's like a little like, it's like a community service tab or what, like, it's something where it says like what we offer. Sure. I don't know. But you go to one of those tabs, and it says Service Academy nominations. And you just click that, and there's an application that you fill out. Once again, you're writing personal statements, your SAT scores, ACT scores, things like that. Yep. And then based on that, they select a group of people to interview. And then, so I remember for Congressman Timmons, there was only one round of interviews. So he did like his interviews, and then it's a panel. So like I've never heard of like the actual representatives themselves being on any sort of panels. Because really what they do is they say, hey, like, most of them haven't been in the military. So they get a bunch of guys that were in the military, whether they're Service Academy graduates or whatever their experience might be, right? And they make them do the interviews. And they say, you guys, I give you the authority to make this decision because I understand that you kind of know a little bit more about what's going on.
They delegate.
And then, they delegate it. And then those people will come to that representative or senator with a list. And they'll say, hey, here's who we think you should nominate. And then really, like, they can still deny that or accept it, right?
Yeah, so but I mean, like, if they knew someone, they'd probably be like...
Yeah, they can still make a veto if they need to. But then basically that's kind of how it happens. And then for Senator Graham and Senator Scott, very similar processes. I think for one of them there was like 2 rounds of interviews. So I went to like one interview, and then I came back into the second round. But like,
that's pretty like, that's quite an experience. Like 17.
Oh my god, it was weird, man.
I gotta say, that's terrible.
So weird.
Having to go like a formalized interview at 17 would be tough.
Dude, I was like, I remember I got like a suit for it too.
Yeah, like good night.
And so I went, and I remember leaving, and I was like, what just happened to me? I was like, that was insane.
Yeah.
But really, like, I would say, I don't know, so I'm not going to speak authoritatively about this, but like, if I had to guess, I would say, just from my perspective, like, if I was interviewing a 17-year-old kid to do something like this, I would not be looking for them to really know everything. That's an unreasonable expectation in my mind. Really, what I think the interviews are for is more of like, just to get a grasp of like, because I think what's most important in the interview process is like just being authentic, because you can tell when you ask somebody a question, like you can tell that they've rehearsed it, right? And like I don't want to hear rehearsed answers. If I'm an interviewer, I want to hear, like, I want to ask you a question, you answer me honestly, and like, you know, as long as you can do that, like, just try to get a grasp of like, do they have good character? Is this guy a good person? Like, does he do what he says he does on paper, right? And then if you get all the answers wrong, like if I ask you some question about like, oh, what comes first, like your enlisted men or the mission, and you answer wrong, like how am I supposed to expect you to know that? Like that was a question that I got, and I forget what my answer was, but I remember it being wrong, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I didn't pay enough attention in the Black Ops 1 campaign. Sorry, I should have known that. Like, known that. That's what I mean. And the guy wasn't like mean about it or anything, but like it was, you know, that's one of those things where I think they want to see how you think, and like how you interact with people, because really like the whole Service Academy basis is officership. Mm-hmm. It's not like you don't go to the Naval Academy to be a pilot. You go to the Naval Academy to be an officer, and if you say that you want to be a pilot and you are a good little egg and you're a good little pilot. You're a good little guy and you do everything you're supposed to do, you'll probably end up being a pilot if you want to be a pilot.
Tom Cruise and
but like really what they want you to
is a good person in the Navy.
Yeah, they want you to be a good officer first, which is all about like leadership, and then because for me, like, I ended up choosing subs, right? Like, my leadership stuff is really not very different from a pilot or a Marine or anything like that. Sure, there are differences, but, like, it's not significantly different. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, they're going to teach me, and they have taught me, all the technical stuff. Like, all the technical stuff about being a submarine officer, I'm going to get that, right? They just care that I have, like, a leadership foundation. That's what the service academies are looking to build. And so I think that's what they care about in their admissions process, not do you know the technical right answers to
but can you be molded into an officer?
Yeah, exactly. It's potential. It is, and like watching that.
And I'm sure after, 100-something years, they probably have a pretty good idea.
Yeah, they've got a good handle, I think.
What we should be looking for in people, I would have to say.
Yeah, I would agree with
probably,
that. I would agree with that for sure. I think.
Take a guess.
Yeah. Case talking about like his recruiting experience.
Yeah.
It did kind of remind me of that, where like they're not they're not necessarily always looking for somebody that like, of course, if you find somebody that's like a 5-star immediately and
you're
just
has all
you're gonna take him. Like, are you an idiot? Like,
but sometimes you have a no-star recruit that just comes out of
and
nowhere.
If he's good,
like
right. you're probably gonna give him a shot. Like if they can be molded into, it's kind of like when you talk about it in sports, like the intangibles. Like, do you have the uncoachables?
Can you be the guy?
Yeah, can you be the guy? And then, like, we can get you in the weight room. We can get you at practice. Like, we can get you better. We just need you to have, like, these intangibles. And then we can... And I think it's very similar that way.
I'll say so. I would say, I would have to agree. That makes sense. That's a good way of putting it. I think one thing to highlight is you got into all 3 service academies.
Yeah, I got it.
Not to flex on anyone or anything, but subtle flex right there.
Yeah, a little bit.
What did you know you were going? Were you set on Navy? Like once you kind of got the thing? Cause I thought you were kind of with pilot.
I was like the Navy.
What chose Navy?
The Navy in general. So what drew me to the Navy as a service was like, first of all, my grandfather was in the Navy, so that was big, but also like. The way that your job selection works is no matter where you are, whether it's ROTC, a Service Academy, OCS, any of these officer accessions pipelines, right? Mm-hmm. You just kind of get to ask nicely. You get to ask and say, hey, I'd really like to be X, Y, and Z in this order. Like, this is my first choice, this is my second choice, this is my third choice, right?
Hello,
so,
sir.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir, please. Please, sir. And so with the Navy, there was just like more that I could see myself being interested in doing.
Okay.
Like, more I could see myself being happy doing. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, in the Air Force, right? Like,
I'm not a pilot.
I'd be kind of upset, right? Like, in, like, going Army, same thing. If I was not a pilot, I probably would have been kind of upset. Mm-hmm. At least at the time, right? That was my logic. Because I didn't end up wanting to be a pilot. But...
Well...
Yeah.
Second ACL tear didn't help.
Yeah, that didn't help.
Didn't help your case right there.
So, the Navy was just, like, something where I was like, hey, I'd probably be content doing most of these things.
Yeah.
So, it was just, like, the best bet for me as far as, like, long-term happiness and, like, job satisfaction. Yeah. It's like, hey, I can go here. But I applied to everything because I was like...
Well, I mean, why not?
Well, yeah, it was like, first of all, if you're doing one application, you're kind of doing all of them already.
Might as well shoot all my shots.
Yeah, and then... Also, it's like, I didn't want to get to a point where I was, you know, like, May of my senior year came around, and I was like, wow, like, I really want to go Air Force now. Like, really wish I applied to there. Like, that would just be a bad situation to be in. It's one thing to get denied, but it's another thing to, like, basically count yourself out.
Well, I think once also you get that recommendation and you've already kind of filled out the app, it's just so much of, like, why wouldn't I at least, like, throw it out? Especially when it's, like...
Well, so the nominations are to individual
service so it's only... Oh, okay.
So, like, I got nominations to West Point and to Air Force from Congressman Timmons.
Okay.
And then I got my nomination to the Naval Academy from Senator Graham. So, they have to nominate you on an individual basis.
Yeah. Did you go for the nomination first, or like I guess
you kind of do them in parallel.
Okay.
You do them at the same time because like there becomes a certain point where like you have nothing left in your application to the Service Academy itself. But you've still got some stuff to do for the nomination side. So like I kind of started them. I think they open at different times. Yeah. I remember that vaguely.
Are the nominations 3 separate, like, I'm nominating for Navy, or, like, one a nomination for Navy and, like,
no,
Army,
so
Air Force, or do you just, like, hey, I want to go to these 3 schools? Here's my request.
I only remember Congressman Timmons' format specifically, so I can't speak to Senator Graham's.
Yeah.
But, I remember, like, ranking... Like, part of the application was, like, rank which service academies you would most want a nomination to. So it was, like, Naval Academy, Air Force, West Point. And then in the interview, they asked me a little bit about, like, why I ordered them that way. And then they said, like, you know, would you be happy if you got a nomination to other service academies? And I'd be like, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm applying to all of them to keep my options open.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's... So, So you kind of go in and you do like I didn't do an interview for each nomination. I just did an interview for
overall
that guy, like for that representative, and then they kind of decided like what nominations they were going to give me and stuff like that.
That makes sense. Yeah, I gotta say the most interesting part was getting the acceptance letters you got, seeing the like Navy and then the Army one, and then the Air Force one being in like a vanilla envelope. I was like, dang, they really cheaped out on the budget.
Dude,
I was like, no wonder you didn't choose Air Force.
I remember Luke picking that up and he goes, I got something better for perfect attendance in the 3rd grade. I think honestly though, a big factor with me not going to Air Force is I never got to go out there. Like, we had a plan to go out to Air Force, because I got to go to West Point and to Navy and, like, tour them and see what it was like. And, like, my family had a plan to go out to Air Force, and then COVID hit. Yeah. And, like, then we couldn't fly. And it was like, all right.
Well, also a very interesting time to be alive.
Yeah, that was
That would be fun. You know, good time.
That was so weird.
And then the envelope just sealed the deal. It was like, yeah... This is the best they can afford for this.
Yeah, I just didn't. I also just didn't change my mind. Like,
you were kind of set on Navy at that point.
Yeah, I was set on Navy, and I felt bad. So it was really interesting, actually. So like, I got into West Point in like January, and I got a call from like one of the blue and gold officers, who's like the Navy admissions representative. And he basically was like, hey, like, I don't know who else we're gonna let in from South Carolina. Like, if I were you, bird in the hand, better than two in the bush. Like, he's like, if I were you, I would take the West Point appointment. I was like, oh, that kind of sucks, but all right, like, probably good advice.
I mean, good.
Probably good advice, right? Yeah. So I accepted the West Point appointment, and I still kind of feel bad for this because I really liked my West Point missions guy. I feel like I kind of screwed him. So I took the West Point appointment, and then like a month later, I got a call from the state representative for Navy, and he was like, hey, you have an appointment coming, and you better accept it. I was like, okay, sounds good. So then I had to call my West Point guy, and I was like, hey, sir, like, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry, but psych. like I'm really sorry. Like, I felt really bad.
Yeah.
But it was weird because for like a month there, I was like going to West Point. Like, I posted on Instagram about it.
Did you find out about West Point when we were at the beach together, or was that the Navy you found out about?
No, I found out about West Point when we were at the Beta Club trip.
That's kind of what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, it was a wild time.
That was fun.
That was a fun time.
A good trip.
Yeah, I remember finding out about that, and then I was like, all right. And then like all of a sudden Navy was back in there. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's like, all right, yeah.
And I didn't even I got into Air Force, but it was after I had accepted my appointment to Navy. It was like end of March. I got in like kind of late. And so I was like, all right, well, I already know what I want.
I wasn't going to you anyway, so like, I mean, thanks, but no thanks. Yeah, that's fair. It is fun because you got to go to Naval Academy during COVID. I'd say
that was not fun.
Peak time alive. You had to go at prime time, right when like no one knew what to do with any of it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I feel really bad for like the commandant at the time, who is now Admiral Buchanan. Love that guy.
Goat.
He was awesome.
Shout out.
But I felt really bad for him. Like you could tell that he like really cared about us, and like he would do these things where like on Instagram he would post like an update like for the parents, and he would post like Q&As where parents and students could like ask questions to his Instagram, and he'd like post the stories like of him responding.
Yeah.
Like he was an awesome guy, and like the superintendent we had at that time, Vice Admiral Buck, was also phenomenal. That guy's so cool.
Yeah.
And so, but I felt really bad for both of them. Like they got a lot of hate. And occasionally, in the moment, hindsight being 20/20, I was very wrong for this. But as a midshipman, I was like, these guys suck. Like they should, because I was miserable.
It's our job,
and I kind of blamed them.
Yeah.
And that's not really fair because like a big thing with the Naval Academy, like people don't talk about, is like DC is not that far from the Naval Academy, and the Chief of Naval Operations loves to stop by. And like loves to come by.
How's things going?
Yeah, just like so. Yeah. They've got a lot of pressure on them, like that. The higher command there does, and so I feel bad for like those guys who were kind of in a rock and a hard place where like they didn't really know what to do. They were just doing what they thought was best and what they thought was right. Like,
well, everyone's just making a call based on what's the best judgment.
Exactly.
No one really had a precedent for. I mean, I don't even think the Navy had a precedent for like
no
what
one
to do under these circumstances.
No one really had any idea, and on top of that, like they're beholden to the Maryland state regulations and like.
So you're just getting slapped around from everyone, basically.
Yeah, so
you're not having a fun time.
There was no real right answer that they were ever going to find. Like, somebody was going to be mad, and to be honest, in their situation, I don't blame them. Like, if you're going to make somebody mad, make the people that can't do anything about it mad, which are the midshipmen. Like
if we're going to get
just,
what are they going to do about it?
They're going to be fine. They're going to figure it out.
State of Maryland might be
you let them all run free, and Maryland might be a little upset, but like
a little mad.
But like, I also feel really bad for like the seniors that year because their graduation got kind of hosed.
Yeah, that's tough. You go through 4 years of just funness for
more
nothing.
Fun. Yeah, for more
fun. That's what we call it. More fun all the time.
Like they missed out on like grad week and stuff, which I really enjoyed. I thought that was a fun time.
Yeah. So going there in COVID, what's your first day? Because, like, all right, you have, like, the 5-minute YouTube video of, like, all right, you're getting your head shaved. But you had to get your head shaved at home.
Yeah, yeah. So going in for COVID was very
What was that like, kind of leading up to and then actually getting there your first day?
It was very different. So, like, leading up to it, I mean, we just went. My parents drove me up.
Mm-hmm.
Stayed at a hotel. Yeah, my head was already shaved. Yeah. Because normally, like, you show up and there's actually a lot of fanfare on the first day when you show up because, like, you show up, they'll shave your head, they give you your uniforms, like, you meet your summer detailers, and then you, that meeting is not, like, pleasant, but, like, you meet them. And then you go out and you do your oath of office, and then you get to eat lunch on the grounds with your parents, and your parents bring food, and you get to see them one last time, and hugs and kisses, and, like, then you're gone. And, like, that sucks. First day, yeah, and your life sucks, but, like, you get to see your parents and stuff one last time. For me, so I showed up with my head already shaved.
Yeah.
So we stayed at a hotel the night before.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had to report at noon on the 1st of July. And so my parents drove me on. I had to be in, like, a mask already. So I had a mask, and then basically it was just a bunch of people, like, directing me. But my parents drove me on to, like, right outside the basketball stadium, and then they were immediately sent away. And, like, there was no,
You're dropped on the curb.
Because what they did is, so they give us, we call them Santa bags. They're these enormous bags. Like, they're huge. I still have mine because it's kind of handy.
Yeah. Can imagine.
Yeah, so they give us these huge bags, and they'll put, like, your printer, your textbooks,
all your
laptop, your uniform, everything goes in this bag. And then so for us, right, like, they took me to a room, which didn't even end up being my room. They took me to the room, and they were like, all right, you are going to stay here for 2 weeks. Just, like, quarantine for 2 weeks. So I got a roommate the next day, I think. Yeah, next day. And we literally, and, like, you had your computer, but, like, technically you weren't supposed to be on it and whatever. And, like, I remember we got hosed because, like, a couple of the guys in my company were playing, like,
cool math.
No, dude, they were so funny. They were, one of, like, the staff was, like, walking by, and these guys were playing, like, some FPS, like, multiplayer FPS that they had found on their computer.
Yeah.
And one of them yells out, like, how did that guy not die? I just shot him. And then I saw the guy, like, stop in his tracks and, like, turn around. But, like, because we were in quarantine at the time, they couldn't really do anything.
I bet they held on to that.
Yeah, they did. They held on to that animosity a little bit.
They waited.
Yeah, they
waited.
They got their lick back.
That's terrible.
But, like, it was kind of one of those things, too, where, like, even the staff felt a little bit bad for us because it was, like...
Well, were y'all, like, working out during that time, or, like, what do you do for those 2 weeks?
We weren't allowed to leave the room,
So for 2 weeks, what do you do?
We got, like, an hour of yard time, basically.
It's like being in jail for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then otherwise they were just, like...
Good luck.
Sit there.
Don't go crazy.
Yeah, so you ended up doing, like we had, like, push-up competitions and, like, you know, who could do the most pull-ups in a day, like, you know, just stupid stuff. But, like, it was actually an extremely depressing time.
Should have brought a full library to just really catch up on some reading. Really get some pages in while you're waiting.
Yeah, dude. I was like, because people said to, like, bring a book, and I was like, when am I going to have time to read a book?
Yeah, what are y'all talking about? Well, from the 2 weeks, so when you're not doing anything.
I didn't really think about that part.
They got me on that technicality.
Yep.
Someone didn't read the fine print.
Yeah.
It was this guy.
But then it was like they would let you outside for like an hour.
Day 15 hits.
Yeah, and so then it was like after the quarantine, I would say it was still.
No phone during that time, or did you have a phone?
No phone.
No phone that whole time.
No phone that whole time. No, I wasn't getting any swipes in. I wasn't scrolling Instagram reels. I was not.
No reels.
I was sitting
no
there
TikTok.
on my thumb.
Are you supposed to let the Chinese government
Yeah, exactly. How will they ever keep up with this?
God, I can't believe you didn't download TikTok on the
computer. Yeah, so day 15, I don't even remember it. Like, that whole time was like a blur. I think that first summer is like the easiest part, though, generally.
Do you think that's just because of the y'all's class or like overall? Like, just
I think overall it's the easiest part because you don't ever have to actually think about anything.
That's kind of nice.
Like, people are going to tell you exactly where to go, exactly when to be there. Like, it's literally like that episode of SpongeBob where it's like fine dining and breathing. That's all you need to know is just, all you need to know is stand at attention and breathe. And, like, that's it. Otherwise, people are going to tell you exactly what to do and exactly how to do it. And, like, if you just listen, you just do it. And it's like, don't get me wrong, it's not fun. But, like, compared to, like, normal academic year where, like, you have to keep up with your own schedule and your homework and, like, there's a lot more personal responsibility that you have to have.
I think that's the biggest difference is, like, you're not making these life-changing decisions over like, I'm an adult now and I need to decide on everything that I'm doing. It's more like, well, speaking from the outside, it seems more like it's like, all right, I wake up and till my eyes are open, till my eyes are shut, someone's telling me exactly how my day's going.
Yeah, exactly. That is pretty much exactly what happens.
It's not very much like, I should figure out what's going on today. You know, it's not...
Also, plebe summer, you get your best sleep that you'll ever get because you're so exhausted, and they have to give you, like, they'll put you to bed at, I think it's like
tuck you in
9:30. Literally, they come in and tuck you in. Literally, they come in and, like, you have to be in your bed. They don't physically, like, tuck the blankets. Yeah, they don't pat you down, but, like, they come in and make sure that you're in your bed. Yeah. They turn your lights off, and then, like, basically, you're guaranteed, I think, like 8 hours of sleep. And literally, you will fall asleep as soon as your head hits the pillow. Yeah. I've never been a person like that, but plebe summer, every day.
Out.
I was...
As soon as those hands come under my back, it's over with. I'm cooked. Yeah. It's like, dang, bro.
Yeah, so...
Bonus.
I thought that was really
Positives
sick.
And negatives.
Yeah.
Roses and thorns, some might say.
Yes, roses and thorns, if you will.
You get a nice tuck in.
Downside. Everything's got pluses and minuses, man.
Downside, your day might suck, but you know, hey, take what you get.
Yeah, I mean, some parts of plebe summer are like kind of fun, like going to the shooting range. It's always fun.
Do you meet like your I don't know if it's like squad or team or whatever unit, maybe
So in plebe summer, you're automatically with your company.
Okay.
So like all the freshmen in your company are already together. And so it's like all the other plebes that you're with are that's your company. So you'll be in the same company as those guys for the rest of the year.
That's figuring out.
Yeah, and so the staff is also from your company, but there's only like 8 staff, I think. Just off the top of my head. So like you really only meet 16 of the like 120 or 90 upperclassmen that you would have in your company. So, like, you don't get to meet all of the upperclassmen, but, like, you meet all the freshmen that you're with.
Was that weird for y'all, like, trying to interact after 2 weeks of, like, doing nothing? Like, trying to meet everyone? Like, were they letting y'all, like, interact?
No. You're not allowed to,
So you're really not meeting your like,
you
for your
are,
first year, yes and no.
You are, but you're not, because, like, you know, if they hear you talking in the bathroom, they're going to come in there and tell you to shut up. Like, this is not a time for just, like, smoking and joking together.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you find time to, like, talk with people. And, like, you kind of find little moments where, like, you're waiting on something and, like, you're just talking or whatever. And, like, also just doing everything with those people gives you a sense of, like, knowing people. It's tough to explain. Yeah, but, like... Yeah. And then, like, once plebe summer's over, you, like, actually talk to the people. And there's, like, part of the things that, like... They have this little book, and it's called, like, Reef Points or something, but it's this little book. It's about as thick as this, like, remote. It's actually about this big. Yeah. And, it's basically got it's a book of things that, like, you have to be able to recite just, like, off the dome. Yeah, so like they'll just, if you're waiting on something, like your staff might walk around and be like, "Oh, Mr. Janosky, why don't you tell me X, Y, and Z?" Like if you don't know it, like you do push-ups and like that's kind of the bit. But one of the big
fun
things.
Time we're having here.
Yeah, it's fun.
Really back and forth.
Yeah. So one of the big things that you also have to know is everybody's first name and hometown.
Oh.
So like.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it helps get to know people, but that was one thing that was really hard with masks.
Oh,
when people had masks on, dude, it'd be like somebody would walk, they would point at somebody and be like, "Who's this? And where are they from?"
Oh, I'd be like, bro.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I got no idea who that is.
One game that they used to play was like, they would take everybody's name tags off, put them face down on the ground, shuffle them, and then they would just pick somebody out of the crowd to go pick up a name tag, and you had to take the name tag to who it belonged to, and then say where they're from. And it was so funny. I remember... I remember this guy.
So fried.
I remember this guy, he picked up somebody's name tag. One of my friends, Gus. He picked up Gus's name tag, brought it to him, and he said, he was like, "This is Nathan Gustafson from," and he waited like 10 seconds, and he said completely the wrong place. And then they were just like, and then they asked Gus, they were like, "Is that correct?" And he was like, "Yep." He was like, "Yep, that's where I'm from." Because you were tired of getting shit on. He was like,
"I'm going to get you. Y'all don't know either."
Exactly.
I'm calling Cap.
Yeah. So.
Dude, that kind of be like kind of low mood to be like, "No, that's not right." That's like when it's like grade your like classmates' test.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the guy was like,
aced it.
I remember the guy was like close. It was like the same state, but it was like the wrong
town.
Wrong town.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's 5 hours away, but
yeah, I think it was like
close proximity.
I think it is like not even because Gus is from Loveland, Colorado, and
bet you got that memorized now.
Yeah, I do. I only know a couple people's though. Still off the top of my head, like my friend Cam. Kaneohe, Hawaii.
Well, it's Hawaii. It's like, all right.
Yeah, but Kaneohe, like...
All right, that's pretty wild, but it's like, all right, I can tell you from Cam's from Hawaii.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever forget that.
Yeah, that's it,
I'd be like, shit, there's only like a couple islands. You're from one of them.
But Gus is... but I think the guy said, like, Lover's Lane, Colorado, or something like that. It was like, all right, close enough.
Well, it's,
Ballpark.
We got the idea.
Yeah.
That's a crazy time.
So you do kind of get to know people.
Yeah. Like, just experiencing suck together.
Yeah, it's kind of like the word trauma gets thrown around a lot, and I think by no means is Plebe Summer trauma. Like, if that's trauma to you, you're weak. Like, sorry.
But it's full of suck.
It definitely sucks. It absolutely sucks. And it is kind of like, if you've heard, like, trauma bonding.
Yeah.
Like, same principle. It's just more like suck bonding.
Yeah. It's like going through, well, I don't know. It's not exactly relatable, but like football practice in the summer when like you go through conditioning, and it's like, all right, this whole
you
week.
Do 2-a-days?
Yeah, it's like this week sucks, like.
But you're doing it
together.
You're
all doing
so you become
together.
friends, right? Like
through like this sucking.
Yeah, I think it's much more based on the fact of like you're doing something with people, and it's like you both care enough to do it, and all like it's the shared ideal and like shared capability of doing it, and so then by extension it's like, all right, like
we both have a common goal.
Yeah,
we both are enduring this. Yeah. There's some companionship from that alone. It's just like
But that's also where I tore my ACL.
That's what I was about to ask. That was my next question.
Tore my ACL the second time.
Did that had to suck pretty bad?
Well, so at first I didn't know, right? Like I tore it on, we were running like the endurance course, which is basically just like an obstacle course, but spread out through the woods across like a couple miles.
So for you to take
and so like you're running, and then you have an obstacle, and then you're running, and you have an obstacle. And I like stepped in a hole, and it just kind of popped, and I was like, that's strange. And then I just like
extend.
No, it was like I stepped in a hole and like kept moving, and it just like popped. And I was like,
Did you get like a little good popping sound from it?
No, not really.
Really?
Like even the first time I tore my ACL, I didn't really hear it. I just felt it.
And you didn't feel it the second time?
I didn't. I felt it a little bit the second time. It didn't feel as bad, which is why I was like, which is why I didn't really think anything of it. And I'd be willing to bet what probably happened is it like I only tore it a little bit.
Yeah, like a partial tear.
Yeah, I had like a partial tear, but then because I didn't like
stop.
Yeah, I didn't stop. I just kept going through the course, and then like and like really even for a while, like I went to medical.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I still had like a partial tear when I went. So when they did, there's this very specific test that they do, like the way they hold your leg and then they'll pull it. And then normally it should be like a firm pull.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you have a torn ACL, it'll be like a squish when you pull it. And so they didn't get the squish because it was only partial.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, you probably just have like tendonitis or something like that. Like that's what's going on. So then like it went.
Go back to the line.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like, all right, as long as I'm fine.
Yeah.
So then I like went through. I went through most of Plebe Summer. I think I still didn't like. I still had like a medical excusal.
Mm-hmm.
So like I didn't do everything.
You did a lot of.
But I did. I tried to do what I could, and then.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once I got to the academic year, like, it got worse. And then it was like, okay. And so I didn't even so I probably tore it in, like...
Somewhere between then.
I probably got the partial tear initially, like, end of July, like, early August time frame. And then I didn't get surgery or even get, like, a confirmed MRI. I got a confirmed MRI in, like, October. And then I didn't get surgery until, like... I want to say like January or February.
Yeah.
Like,
why don't you get a full tear where they just like?
Yeah, they were like, that sucks. Like, kind of like, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
Hate that.
It was funny because like, so if you have like a medical excusal for too long, you will develop a reputation as somebody called a chit surfer. Which means that you are basically on a medical excusal for nothing, just because you're weak.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, because I was on a chit for a long time, and like they told me it was like first it was like tendonitis, and then it was like a torn meniscus, and then it was like what's the thing where you get like fluid built up in your leg? I forget the name of it.
Can't tell you the name. I don't know what you're talking about.
But like it was a couple different things, and so. Then when I finally got confirmed that like I tore my ACL, a couple of my friends did come up to me and were like, "Hey, I just thought you were kind of being like weak this whole time, and I wanted to apologize." they were like, nobody actually thought you had like an actual injury that was
a problem
hurting you.
From the deepest of my sincerities.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I understand.
Honestly,
I get it.
I would just
say, yeah, like I would feel the same way.
I would feel the same way. Takes a lot to apologize, so
appreciate that. Yeah, I do appreciate it.
That does mean a lot to me.
Yeah. So I did that.
Yeah. So first couple months were pretty tough.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, even like.
Well, not only that, because you're on medical for your knee, but then also you didn't have the normal dorm set up that like because you were at the
because we went over to St. John's, which is like this college that's across the street. Is part of like, because what they did is they took the area where my company normally lived, and they were like, this is quarantine area now. So we're going to send this company and another company, it was actually Schuler's company, was the other company, that went with us over to St. John's, and we lived in like that area, which like, for a guy on crutches is not like the most fun thing because then you had to walk from this other place all the way to class. Like, I was late to class, I think, like, every day during that time.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, like, literally, I was like, I'm sorry. Like,
I left 30 minutes early, and
this is what it is. This is what it is.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. That was a fun time, though, because it, like, wasn't, like...
Actually, kind of a weird transition.
It was... Also, it was, like, we lived with upperclassmen.
Yeah.
Which... isn't like, I mean, you always live with, like, we didn't have roommates. Most of us didn't have roommates. Normally you have 2 to 3 roommates. And so, because of the dorms at this other college, we lived, like, by ourselves.
Yeah.
And so, that was weird. And then on top of that, it was like we lived with guys that were only a year older than us, also in that dorm.
Yeah.
And, like, while they're supposed to be, like, you know, because it was COVID, it was weird. Like, nothing really got enforced. It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But, like, it would lead to, like, some awkward situations. Because you had, like, normally in the dorms in the hall, you have, like, your own shower. And it's communal toilets. These dorms, it's communal showers and communal toilets. So, we had one time, one of my friends was, like, showering next to this guy. Because they were, like, shower stalls.
Okay.
And he could only see his feet, and he thought that it was somebody else, and he, like, reached down and tickled his feet, and turns out it was, like, one of the upperclassmen. It was so funny. For, like, no reason. They, like, just tickled this random guy's feet. It was funny. It was good.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it just led to, like, some interesting
interactions.
Situations.
Yeah. That's
really
a tough
strange interaction.
Tough one to come back from, for sure.
But, I mean, it's fun. It's, like, you know. Because, like, especially the guys that are only a year older than you.
Yeah.
Like, once you get out of your freshman year, you do kind of become friends with those people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like...
I feel like the freshman year, you're just kind of getting, you know...
Yeah, you just get shit on.
You just get shit on all the time.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point of being there. But then, like, I feel like sophomore to senior year is very different.
Yeah, it gets a lot different.
Yeah.
It becomes, like... Sophomore year is, like...
Well, you're not a plebe anymore.
Yeah, but you also have no real responsibilities.
Exactly.
So, like, that's also one of the easier times... Because no one expects you to be able to do anything.
You don't know anything.
You also, yeah, but you also...
But I'm
like,
no longer a freshie.
Yeah, you also are not getting, like, bullied all the time. So it's this, like...
Perfect storm.
This perfect storm of, like, I'm going to go to my room and take a nap for 4 hours. It's like,
Who's going to tell me
no one's going to stop you. No one will stop you. And, like...
Yeah. That's pretty epic. You know, that's a pretty nice place to be.
Yeah.
When, like... The great printer toss. Was that your freshman year?
That was my freshman year when people were just throwing printers. I never did understand that. I think, well, a big part of it was that the printers never worked. And so, like, nobody... like, nobody... Because you always, like, you would just go to the library. If you had to print something, you just go to the library. And, the printers, so they never worked, and we got issued them. And for some reason, people just started, like, throwing them. Which is like, I don't know why. They would just, like, drop them off the, like, breezeways or whatever it was. Just drop them and let them fall. And,
you know, the printer's not working anyways.
Yeah, you'd wake up and, like, walk to class and you would see, like, casually,
KIA.
like, a printer's, like, over here. It's like a crime scene.
Chalk line of the printer.
Yeah, it's like an outline. All the pieces are all over the place.
It's like the Crestfire from Tommy Boy. That printer. New guy's puking his guts out.
Yeah, like...
The printer ink is just spewed everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, like, you would, like, watch a car, like, go to park and run over, like, printer pieces.
Yeah, you just...
Hear them crunch.
Pretty epic.
Yeah, there was no real reason for that, but, like, it infuriated, like, people.
So you know what that means.
Yeah, so people just kept doing it. People just kept doing it. They were like,
Rage baiting.
Yeah, they basically would rage bait.
Yeah, you gotta do it. I mean, that's part of it. You know, taking back control.
Yeah, exactly. It never did anything for us.
Oh.
Never helped. Did not help at all.
Did anything help?
No. It was, like, the worst one was somebody threw a printer off the roof of one of the buildings at St. John's, which was a big no-no. Because we were more or less, like, renting the St. John's campus.
We were borrowing.
And, it was like...
It's an eminent domain.
Somebody got very upset. Somebody got in a lot of trouble for doing that because it was like, why would you do that? Which...
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny in the moment. I thought it was pretty funny. I
laughed.
I did laugh. I thought that was pretty good.
That's a pretty good one. Probably not the best overall looking down, but
you know. No, yeah, it's fine.
Coming from the bottom up.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Who among us has not made some foolish choices?
Good times. Sophomore year, you got to cruise pretty. I'd say sophomore year is probably better than.
Yeah, I like.
Well, because you're coming out. Well, also no responsibility, not a freshie, and also kind of coming out of no longer COVID era.
Yeah,
I'd say like somewhat.
We were more or less out of COVID by that point.
Yeah, but very much
had a lot more freedom.
Yes.
I think I can count the number of times without using my toes. I can count the number of times that I left, like the yard to go somewhere else freshman year, and then sophomore year, like I left pretty much every weekend, which was nice.
Much more fun.
I didn't get to spend like a lot of overnight time.
Yeah.
But like I got to leave on Saturday, which was really nice.
So rad.
Just get out, which is like. I think that's one of the biggest things is like getting out for a little bit. Like that really eases the mind.
Probably.
Like doesn't matter where you're going.
Anywhere is better than where I'm at.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Just getting off campus and like.
Yeah.
Just hang out. Go get Chipotle.
Give me something. McDonald's.
Sure, why not?
Why not? I'm just gonna stop it.
Yeah.
A good Big Mac. Give me some fries, crispy.
Yeah.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Epic.
So yeah, I like sophomore year a lot. Also, you're like starting your majors classes.
Yeah. What was that like picking your major there? Because like it's not like I'm gonna go do biology. I'll have to imagine it's more like
it's very similar to service selection where you basically say, hey, these are my number one choice majors. The thing is though, most people get their first choice major. The problem comes, I don't know, there's some like congressional mandate or something where like a certain percentage of Naval Academy graduates have to be engineering majors. Like that's just like a mandate. I don't know if it's congressional. I don't know if it's from the Naval Academy itself. I don't know whose rule that is, but that is a rule.
I'm not the rule maker, so. The
only people, like I only know of a couple people that didn't get their first choice major.
Oh,
and it's because they said like,
so for how's that? So you have to like put in your major, and then it's like, too bad you're doing engineering, or is it like?
So it's once again you rank.
So you go like 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Your like freshman year or like your sophomore year?
Freshman year.
Freshman year, you're like, all right, 1 through 5. Going into the Naval Academy, you're like, once you're at the end of like your freshman year.
It's like middle. Like middle of your freshman year.
And you're like 1 through 5. I'd like to do like health science, engineering, or
whatever, right? So, and then if you. Like, the only people I know that didn't get their first choice were people that, like, wanted to do, like, humanities. And then they were like, sorry, we have too many people going humanities. Like,
you're doing engineering, so.
Yeah, like, that's... Great. But, like, for me, my first choice was engineering, so...
Oh, okay. So you kind of knew you were going...
Yeah, if your first choice is engineering, you'll get your first choice.
It's like, that's
gonna
easy pick.
Yeah.
But you want... What field in engineering, like... Did you do like a special?
Yeah, so I did robotics and control engineering.
Was that kind of later though? In like,
how do you mean?
Like junior year?
No. So you specify robotics and control, or like mechanical,
civil,
or aerospace, or whatever. Yeah. So you specify exactly what major you want, and then,
I didn't know if they went like engineering like basic, and then we're like, all right. Sophomore year, you're gonna specialize in whatever you want to do.
Not really. I mean, but because
you're taking kind of the same
for all engineering majors though, like your sophomore year is virtually the same.
Yeah, you're not.
Like I think the aero guys take like a specific class their sophomore year, and maybe like
you get maybe like
the mechanical engineers take something weird, but like. The robotics, the ocean engineers, the naval architects, those guys, they're all taking the same.
You're all taking the same year. Basic.
So
same foundation.
Yeah. So
that makes sense. I was kind of curious about that. Like when you actually went towards like your.
You don't get into your specialty until really like junior year.
Yeah, that's pretty on par for like what happens normally. But I didn't know if it'd be different from like.
No, not really. Not. You just don't. You pick first and then you start.
Yeah. If you do like I don't want to be an engineer anymore, they like hate that for you.
I've known some people. It really depends, right? Like, it's easier to switch into engineering by a lot, but at the same time, like if you, let's say you finish your sophomore year
mm-hmm.
and you've got like a 1.5 GPA and you're like, hey, maybe engineering's not for me. They're probably going to be like, you know what? You're probably right. Like, let's get you into history. Let's make the transfer.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a lot harder to justify if you've got like a 3.8 in engineering.
Yeah,
like, I'm not really feeling it. And they're like, oh, we don't really care. Like,
I really hate that for
you.
Hopefully you tough it out.
Yeah, but like one of my friends, he started as an aero major
mm-hmm.
and just got crushed. And he was like, hey.
Which happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I mean, you know, no fault to him.
Yeah.
But he was like, hey, maybe this isn't for me. And they were like, you're probably right. Like, let's...
Me and you are both looking at this.
Yeah. They were like, I'm glad you said something, actually, because I was going to. So.
I concur. Like, that's a great point you're raising, because it does look like.
And also, really, like, your major doesn't really matter for what you do in the Navy. Because everybody at the Naval Academy has to take up through Calc 3, has to take 2 physics, 2 chemistries, a thermo, and then if you're not an engineering major, you have to take a engineering like overall class. Like so we call them dirt, boats, and planes, where you take like a basic mechanical engineering class, a basic naval engineering class, or a basic aero engineering class.
So like kind of learn a little bit about everything.
Yeah, so you have to learn about that because
that kind of makes sense.
This was all actually because of like the submarine program, where they wanted everybody, no matter what their major was at the Naval Academy, to graduate being able to go and be successful at power school.
Huh.
So because of that, like everybody, like if you, let's say you're an English major at the Naval Academy, you graduate with a Bachelor's of Science in English.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so because you have enough credits.
I was saying, but I'm a Bachelor of Science in Fine Arts. So I know a thing.
The scientist.
Yeah, Mr. Science over here. That's kind of hilarious, though. BS in science or in English.
Yeah, like they've got BSs in history.
Do you all graduate BS then?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter.
Everybody graduates with BS.
That's kind
because of all of your like math and science.
I was just so glad I got a BS. Because I just think it's hilarious. I just kind of laugh at it. BS. I'm like, yeah, it was kind of BS.
BS, all right.
It was BS for sure. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so like.
So y'all graduate.
Yeah, nobody gets really like a pass.
You just kind of get like a more special.
Yeah, like you take.
Special.
Everybody has to take a semester of electrical engineering, but like the engineering majors take the hard electrical engineering, and then the non-engineers they take what we call double easy, because it's the easier electrical engineering. It's actually not that different though. Like, double hard is just like, they add like 1 unit in there for something. I don't even remember what it was. That's different. But like, people talk about it like, oh, it's so different. Like, it's not. It's basically the same class. It's basically the same class. Even like thermo, like I took 2 semesters of thermo. Non-engineers take like 1 semester of thermo, but they take the same first class that I took. So I take like the same easy thermo with them, and then as an engineering major, I take a second thermo. So that was like...
You just get like an extra scoop of...
Yeah, like an extra helping of killing myself.
Yeah. There you go. However you want to put it.
Yeah, exactly.
So. Interesting.
Barrel of fun.
Yeah.
Barrel of laughs.
That's what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
You just keep calling it fun.
If you call it fun enough, it becomes fun.
You just think it's fun.
Yeah,
eventually
it's fun.
You'll be like, I fooled
all
myself.
Mental. It's a mental game.
That's all it is. Before we go into like your junior year and senior year, you want to refill?
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
All right, junior year. Come out of I think like sophomore year. What going on? I don't think like what's going on then.
No, I mean it was mostly.
You're having
rehab.
a fun time, you know.
It was mostly rehab for my ACL surgery, and then, like.
Kind of getting back to normal.
Getting back to normal a little bit. I like started on the boxing team and then stopped on the boxing team because I got my shit rocked like multiple times. I was like, you know what? Like at a certain point when you've been concussed enough, like you have to take a look in the mirror and be like, maybe this isn't for me. Like have some humility.
My nose is nicely planted right here, and I would not like it on the side of my face personally.
I was just not a good boxer because like we had a coach. The coach at Navy, I don't remember if he left my senior year or if he left after my senior year. I think he left my senior year. But Jim McNally, that guy, like, he was a referee at the Rio Olympics for boxing. He was, like, 9-time college coach of the year. Like, he was insane.
All right.
And his son boxed with us. That guy was cracked. But I remember I boxed this one guy. His name was Matt. And, like, I remember, like, Coach McNally was, like, watching. And I was very new to the team at this point. And I, like, wouldn't move. Like, I would move my body, but, like, I wouldn't, like I'd just kind of stand there and take it. Like, I'd just take the hits and, like, hit him when I could. And, like, the guy, he, like, broke my nose.
Yeah.
And also, like, because I went down, he beat the shit out of me so bad. And Matt is, like, a great guy. Like, I love Matt a lot. He was in my major, really cool dude.
Yeah.
But he beat the shit out of me. And, like,
for all the times you didn't run.
I didn't really, like, it was like I stepped out.
Yeah.
And I just remember Coach McNally being like, move. Like, why aren't you moving? And I was just taking it. And it was like, I stepped out and I didn't quite know where I was. And I was just like, blood just like running down my face. And I was like, and they took me down to medical. And they like x-rayed me for a broken jaw. And they like reset my nose. And then they were like, all right, you have a concussion. I was like, thank you for noticing. Like,
excellent observation.
And dude, it was like so we have like once a semester you have these things called alpha inspections. And I was living with these two guys who I really did not know at all. Because we had gotten basically everybody got sent to different companies. So they like shuffled us.
Oh,
around.
That's the part we missed out on.
Yeah, they shuffled us.
Yeah, you're the first first group to do that in
a long time.
In a long time, you got the like shotgun shuffle.
Yeah. So what they did is like, they just sent all of the freshmen and all of the sophomores to like completely random different companies. And
epic, cause
so I was living with these two guys I didn't really know. It was like end of first semester sophomore year, so I'd only really known them for a little while. And they were both on the heavyweight rowing team, so they were huge. One of the guys, he was in my power school class, and then he now he's the class behind me at Prototype. Great guy though. His name's Jack.
Yeah.
So he lived with me. So basically, because this inspection happened at like 7:00, and so they were both at practice. So they had kind of like counted on me because one of the members of the room has to be present to do the inspection.
Yeah.
So because I was like, all right, my practice won't take that long. Like, I'll get back to the room to do the inspection and, like, be present, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, then turns out I got my ass kicked so bad, I had to go to medical. And so, like, I still had, like, my hand wraps on. I had, like, these hot pink, like, hand wraps. They were sick. I've still got them, I think. No, maybe I gave them to somebody. But anyway, so I got back to the room at like 7:15. Like the inspection had already started. I was still in like athletic shorts, and like the shirts that we had to work out in were, we called them blue rims. They were just white shirts, and they had like the Naval Academy logo right here, and then like blue stripe, and then blue around the collar. But otherwise they were all white, and it was just covered in blood. And I was like, so I get back to my room, and there's a guy, like an inspector, like standing there. And I'm like, sorry I'm late. And he's like, what happened? And I kind of explained it to him, and he was like, dude, your room looks clean. Just, like, turn the lights off. And he just, like, walked out. He, like, because normally, right, it's like a white glove inspection. Like, you know, they're doing this and, like, and, you know, they're taking, like,
so you weren't dusting.
Yeah, they take, like, a ruler and, like, measure how long the fold is of your bed to, like, because there's, like, a regulation of how long that has to be. That's normally how it goes. He was just like, you know what, man, you're fine. He's like, I trust you.
At least dude chilled there.
Yeah, no, he was chill. Like, I mean, I don't know what else you're supposed to do in that situation. Like, because I kind of...
No, I don't think you're the first person for that to happen to.
I mean,
think you'd be the
probably
last
not.
group for that to happen to either.
I remember somebody had... Because 2 guys took me down to medical. Like, walked with me down there.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I was cooked. And then, like... And then one guy went up to, like, my company area to, like, basically tell people in my company, like, hey, he'll be here. But we gotta handle this first.
But, Buddy's out of it.
Yeah, he's not looking great.
Doing too great.
And so, yeah, he was cool about it. And then I ended up, I had, like, a week in my room where, like, all the lights had to be off. Like, I was wearing, like, sunglasses, like, around. Because I was so concussed. And then after that, I was like, you know what? Like, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I'm not really built like that.
After getting my face beaten in.
Yeah.
I don't know if boxing was my thing, you know?
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
But you know, all the options. I don't know about this.
Yeah. So, and then...
Highlight.
That was around the time. So that happened, like, my first semester. And then second semester, one of my really good friends, Jared... and Tony, they were both on the jiu-jitsu team.
Okay.
And so they kind of got me into that, like, my second semester. Because believe it or not, like, jiu-jitsu is, like, not that bad for your joints. It's, like, pretty easy on the joints overall.
Well, I gotta imagine it's better than boxing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
getting slammed in the face.
Yeah, it's one of those sports where, like, people rarely get injured in jiu-jitsu. Like, you rarely get, like, permanently injured. It just kind of hurts in the moment. Like, it's not pleasant to get blood choked. Yeah. But, like, once you get choked and you tap, you stand up and you're fine. Yeah. And, like, it's not a big deal. So they kind of got me into that. But I did eventually fall off that, too. Once I did my hip. But again, I just kind of...
You're like, don't know about this.
Yeah. So...
Might as well just ride this party out.
Yeah, I was like, alright, whatever. I'll just work out on my own. Whatever.
How does lifting weights sound?
Yeah, I was like, alright. But... Yeah, that was pretty much the theme of my junior year. It was just like ACL recovery and like
come
getting
back.
my ass kicked.
Yeah, fun time.
Yeah.
Or
sophomore year, I should say. Yeah.
Sophomore year?
Yeah.
And then junior year, you make your selection. Like you give here's what I would like to do.
No, so that's senior year.
Senior year, you give like the actual here.
Yeah, you give because I think service assignment is like end of first semester your senior year, from what I remember.
I thought you gave, though, then your picks, like, the end of junior year. You're like...
Yeah, like, end of junior year, yeah. You
okay.
Give. And then also, right before your junior year, you sign your official contract. Yeah. And you say, because you're a freshman and your sophomore year, if you want to leave, you can just leave free of charge.
You're there for funsies.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
Like, Godspeed and good luck. You know, all that good stuff. But your junior year, if you get kicked out or you leave or whatever it may be... you are on the hook for some. Oh, it's going to be a lot more than $32,000. I think if you were to leave the day you sign the contract, once you've signed, if you leave, it's then like $200,000.
So cake is baked once you sign that contract.
Yeah, and then if you get kicked out like the day before graduation, it's like $400,000. So it's like...
You really got to ride it out.
Yeah, at that point, you're in.
You better not... Major no take backsies.
Yeah, no takesies backsies.
That's a big time. I'm not getting hit with $200,000. Hey, by the way.
Yeah. So,
yeah, you can leave. It's no problem.
Yeah.
You send me $200,000.
Yeah, sure. And there are a couple guys that do leave anyways. Like, one guy I knew, I hope he's doing well. I haven't talked to him in a while. I still follow him on Instagram. Yeah. But he was prior enlisted, so he actually left after he signed the contract. But his GI Bill from where he was enlisted covered the cost. So like he, he still left and still technically, so like he lost his GI Bill from what I understand.
Because it went to the covering.
Yeah, because it covered the cost, but like he didn't
owe anything.
Yeah, he didn't owe anything, which is kind of nice.
That's pretty nice. Break even.
I think he ended up going like TCU or something like that.
All right, well.
Yeah, but hope he's doing all right. Good guy.
Shout out that guy.
Yeah, shout out that guy. And then so that was junior year. You get really into like majors classes and like.
Are you taking on like full response? Is that when you start doing like watch and stuff, or like response?
Yeah, I mean you start doing watch like your freshman year, but your watch freshman year is like kind of.
Watch the toilets.
Yeah, more or less. It's like
it's a
joke. It's a total joke, and like you only stand it for like an hour at a time, and then you mostly like you'll do some watches here and there like your sophomore year and your junior year, but then the other big watch is your senior year, which is like you really have no responsibility still. Like it's still kind of fake and made up, but like
here's this imaginary task for you to do.
Yeah, it's like all right. Yeah.
I'll do it perfectly.
Really, the whole thing is like. They just want to teach you that watch exists and you'll have to do it. But like you never do anything really that serious.
Well, these hallways are watchable.
Yeah, I can look at them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mr. Hallway better not go anywhere.
Yeah.
I see you.
Yep.
Tile's still there. Don't go. That's fun. So, you go to make your picks. Draft selection.
Yep.
Fun draft.
Yeah, the fun draft.
What are you what are you going, like, what's the mindset going into that of like, all right, here's what the next 8 year or whatever X amount of years are going to look like?
It depends from person to person what you care about, right? Like, a lot of my friends, like, wanted to be pilots. They're like, I'm going to be a pilot.
Pilot sounds fun.
And they're like, all right, cool, pilot. That's choice number one.
Yeah.
For me, it was like...
Well, pilot for you kind of got written off after
ACL got... After the second ACL, that was like, all right, maybe... It's
probably not happening for me. G-Force doesn't sound too well.
Yeah, so So for me, what I looked at was like, I tried to go around and like interact with officers from different communities, like as much as I could, and be like, all right, which officers do I like the most?
What do I kind of relate with?
Who do I relate with? Who do I... Yeah, so... And then, like, also, for me, picking subs, like, subs was just cool because it's something where no other community in the entire... Except for maybe, like, special forces guys, like SEALs and Green Berets and stuff. They're doing stuff, but, like, really, like, in a peacetime situation... No other community is doing actual missions in the Navy outside of, like, submarines.
Oh, okay.
Submarines are doing, like, real actual missions to go do real stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, surface guys, pilots, they're doing, like, exercises.
Wow,
like, they're doing training. They're just training the whole time. Whereas, like, sub guys are going to do, like, real missions and stuff, which I thought was really cool. Because I was like, all right, I'll get to do stuff.
Actually do something versus like, oh, wow, the boat can go in circles. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was really cool. Also, just like generally, the sub officers were pretty cool guys. I will say you get a lot of the submarine community in general. Let's just going to speak candidly about this. These are my own opinions, all right? It just attracts a certain kind of person that's really, really smart, maybe doesn't have the best social IQ, but really, like, I mean, they want a group of really smart people. So, by extension, they're just going to get people that maybe are really smart, but, like, socially awkward. So, like, that's something that you experience, too. Yeah. But, like, they're all good guys. They're just, like, a little strange sometimes, which is fine.
It's all right. You need that. No, I wouldn't want a nuclear operator that's like
Yeah, I'd rather you be smart and weird,
completely socially awkward, but
versus like stupid and cool. Like
I'll take the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah. So, but that was my choice was just kind of like I like these guys. I like hanging out with these guys. I can see myself. Also, like the submarine community in general is even between like officer and enlisted, like is tighter than most communities. Because if you think about it, dude, you're like in a metal tube with like only 12 other officers. Most people on the boat are enlisted. Like you're in a metal tube with these guys for like 3 to 6 months at a time. Like eventually you're like you can't. If you had to be so formal and so like I am an officer, you are enlisted the whole time, everyone would be miserable. It would just suck. So like you become a little more familiar and like I don't want to say that you're friends because there is a level of familiarity that is like undue familiarity, which is like not good. But like
there's like a line.
Yeah, there's a line where you have, but like
I can be friendly with my manager.
Yeah, but exactly.
I'm not like his best friend. Like
Yeah,
like,
versus like surface and Marines. Like I remember I have a mentor who like he was in the Army, and then he transitioned over to the Marines, and he was talking about how like when he made that transition, like when he was in the Army, he used to go eat lunch with like his senior enlisted guys all the time, right? And then when he transitioned over to the Marines, like his first couple days, he was like, "Hey, like you guys want to go get lunch? Like we'll go, I don't know, somewhere on base or whatever." And they were like, "Oh, sir, we don't do that. Like you're our platoon commander. We don't do that." And it's just very weird.
Yeah.
Like that's a bit more of a, I don't want to say standoffish, but just separated.
Yeah.
Versus like
this is your rank. This is who you go with.
Yeah, exactly. And so I liked that about the submarine community, that it's less separated because of the environment that you're in all the time. Also, like, our school isn't exactly the same. So, like, power school and prototype for officers versus enlisted is different. But it's the same amount of time. Like, it's the same, and it's generally, like, power school, you have officer-only classes and enlisted-only classes, and, like, that's because you learn different things. But, like, once you get to prototype, you're in the mix with all the enlisted guys trying to get qualifications and stuff like that. And they have, like, a different qual card, but, like, you're in the mix with them, you see them a lot, you stand watch with them a lot. Yeah. So, like, your training is very similar. So, like, generally, right, like, I know when I get to the boat exactly what the enlisted guys have kind of, not exactly, but like I know what they have done and what they've gone through, and I know their level of qualification. They know my level of qualification. There's like an aspect of like mutual respect there that exists. There's also in the submarine community uniquely, which I think every community would benefit from this. I can't say that every community doesn't have this, but I know that the submarine community really emphasizes this, is this level, we call it like forceful backup, where like, if I am about to do something wrong, like, it is an enlisted guy's responsibility to tell me that I am going, if he knows that I'm wrong, to stop me and be like, hey, you're wrong. And in actuality, like, if he lets me do that wrong thing, he's equally as in trouble as I am.
Yeah.
So like, there's that side, so that also builds like that mutual respect where like, I want this person to correct me if I'm wrong, versus like, you don't necessarily have that in all fields, which I really like. And it goes the same way, right? Like, because when I show up to my boat, like I'm an officer, but also I don't really know anything. I know nothing.
I've gone through school a lot.
Yeah, I've gone through a lot of school, but like
that's how like every graduate feels. It's like, oh yeah, I know the books.
Yeah, but I don't really know anything.
I don't know the real life experience though.
And so like, you have a guy like a chief, senior chief, who has been in the Navy for 20 years doing this, right? Like, obviously, I'm going to show deference to that guy. Like, that guy I'm going to ask for his advice a lot.
Yeah.
But same thing. Like, if I think he's about to do something wrong, it is my responsibility to be like, hey, Chief, I think this is wrong. And, like, my responsibility to go to the book and be like, this is why I think you're wrong. Like, be able to prove it. And so because of that, like, same thing goes the other way. Where, like, normally if you correct a chief, they're going to be like, oh, you think you're so smart, don't you? Which, understandable. Totally understandable. Really? But, like, in the submarine community, if I can point to a reference and be like, this is why,
I think
they will... Oftentimes, right, like, they know about that reference, and they'll be like, yes, you are right, but this is a different scenario because XYZ, and they'll kind of teach you why that is correct.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, hey, thanks, like, appreciate that. Which I think is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really like that about, like, it feels like a real, like, team effort in the submarine community versus, like...
Passed down.
Yeah,
like,
versus...
You do this, and then someone else telling you do this, and then it's going down the chain. Yeah, it's not so much like a food chain. It's more, camaraderie. Like
there's a little more camaraderie,
more of a
and
team effort,
team effort type feeling,
which
I really appreciated.
Yeah, I'll say that's a giant thing. Also, you got to go on like a tour in like San Diego or California.
Nah, dude, I went to Kings Bay, Georgia.
Kings Bay? Oh, Georgia.
I went to Georgia.
I thought you went to California for.
So I was supposed to go to San Diego, for a training after my freshman year.
Uh-huh.
But because I had knee surgery,
they
were like, you can't go. And they ended up giving me like another block of leave. So I was home for like 2 months, which is very abnormal. Normally, for your summers at Navy, you get like 2 blocks of training and 1 block of leave.
Yeah.
But because they disqualified me from that, they were just like, you can have an extra block of leave. Which was fine. I got kind of bored.
Yeah.
Like, I think 30 days is...
pretty spot on.
Is good enough, and then after that, it's like you can only like play golf and drink.
Do nothing for so many days.
For so many days in a row.
Yeah, 60 days, or was it 60 days?
Yeah, it was like 60 days I ended up having.
Yeah, it's a little bit much.
That's too much.
Yeah, that's a little bit too extended on the vacation time.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I was supposed to go to San Diego. Yeah. Ended up, I went to Kings Bay, Georgia after my sophomore year. And then...
Did that kind of help also in that, like...
That did help a lot. Like, getting to interact with, like, the crew of the sub and, like...
Yeah, did you get to actually go on a sub?
For I was on there for, like, a week. And so, I got to interact and, like, hang out with them, kind of see what they were all about. Like, that was really cool. That was a lot for me of, like, meeting the officers actually on a submarine.
Yeah.
Because, like... Also, at the Naval Academy, we have officers from every community. Like, everything that the Navy does, we have officers that do it. But it's still very different because they're in, like, staff roles, and, like, you don't get to see them in the environment, right?
Yeah.
And so that was really cool, just, like, seeing the differences over to, like...
Everyone interacting. All that, what's happening.
Yeah, kind of how it's going.
Did you ever actually get to go on like an aircraft carrier or like any?
I got to go on a surface ship. Yeah, okay. I went on a cruiser out of Norfolk, Virginia, after my junior year.
Were you kind of just like, I don't love this?
Yeah, I'm not speaking ill of any community in a public-facing setting.
Not the community, but it's just like
I
ship as much. Like,
I didn't like the life as much.
Yeah,
definitely not. It just didn't appeal to me as much.
Yeah. Mr. Seasick over here wasn't a big fan.
Well, dude, that time I was seasick for the first day, and we were still like, because we got on board, and then I think we left like the next day or maybe the day after.
Yeah.
To go do like some exercise for like 2 weeks, and I was really seasick like the first day. And then after that, you kind of get used to it. Like, your body gets used to it.
Kind of like,
once you have slept a night on the boat, normally, like, that will help.
Huh.
And then also, just the fact that we went further out. The further out you go, the less it's...
Yeah, the best part that I've ever experienced is going on the fishing trip of us all going out there.
Oh,
and all the Navy guys getting seasick.
Dude, and everybody was seasick.
I understand that I'm seasick. Like, I kind of expected this. I had a shot in the dark that I was going to get seasick. But then I see all the Navy guys going down, and I'm like,
Well, dude, he took us out to like the worst
I'm like,
spot.
what are y'all doing?
He took us to the worst possible spot of like, he's like, yeah, right here was all this chop right here.
Tanner was dawn. I mean,
oh my god,
toasted. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, all right, I didn't see that coming. I was like, fair.
Well, dude, Tanner just got, he actually just got assigned to the Civil Engineering Corps.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday.
All right.
So he won't ever have to go on a boat again.
Well, good for him.
Really
he shouldn't.
Dude, his options are like, so his options for where he could go are Sicily, Pearl Harbor, Washington State,
I haven't heard one I don't like yet.
San Diego.
Okay.
Or Camp David.
Well, this sounds... Where's Camp David? Camp David...
Camp David's in Maryland, but it's like the presidential, like, retreat.
Okay. All right.
So, like, he's got some really cool...
He's got 5 good options.
He's got some really cool options in front of him.
I'm kind of go to Sicily, to be honest.
That's what... I think that is going to be his first pick. I really want him to pick Sicily. I think that'd be good for... I mean, hell, dude, if I could go to Sicily...
Tanner, if you want to bring the podcast out,
yeah, Sicily, Tanner, if you want to,
if you want to bring the chat, I'll come talk to you in Sicily.
Yeah, we'll all come out to Sicily.
I'll bring the table and all. We'll bring it. I'll come to
table, you. Table, Yeti cups, we'll have it all.
We'll get it there. That's dope. I think that's the cool. All right, the coolest part that I think is like the places you can go. Granted, you kind of got a little bit shafted on like.
I don't think so. I'm really happy.
You're happy with what you got? What'd you get? You got Virginia?
Originally, I got Virginia.
Virginia kind of would have been an L.
That would have been
out
a huge
of
L.
all the
that places
been you could have like
L.
chosen.
That would have been a huge L.
After choosing subs, it's kind of like, all right, yeah, there's all these amazing places in the world that are super cool. How does Virginia sound?
Yeah, no, that would have been really that would have.
You know, like let's just drive a couple hours up and.
Yeah, so Yeah, so originally my orders just like my soft order said Virginia.
Yeah.
But that was just because that's where the boat currently is.
Mm.
I'm actually going to Connecticut and then to Washington State. So like that's not that bad.
That's not bad.
Connecticut at least is like a new place. Like I've never really been in the Northeast.
Connecticut would be fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool to like experience. And then Washington State will obviously.
Washington State would be very cool. That's a fun place to be.
Yeah.
What were your other top? What was your top 5? Or is it top 5?
I don't even remember. I just remember I had put subs,
mm-hmm.
and then I put naval flight officer, which is like, it's not a pilot, but it's like, you know, in Top Gun, Goose sits in the back seat. Yeah, that's an NFO. So that would have been my second choice. I don't remember what my other stuff was.
Do you think you had any shot of like, were they like you kind of going subs like?
No, they really
like
weren't.
How optimistic were you like of going subs?
I actually
because alright, not to slight, but I had some tough semesters throughout.
I did, and that actually really did not help me.
Uh-huh.
So subs is any
Mister couldn't swim one extra lap.
Yeah, that fateful day.
Through that.
So submarines, any nuclear specialty, the way that you get assigned that community is you have to go to naval reactors and interview. You do a technical interview and then you do an in-person interview. And so
fun.
You get there in the morning.
Yeah.
Get there in the morning and you do a technical interview with the engineers at naval reactors. So you walk in and like you do either 2 or 3 technical interviews, and like it depends on. So if you pass both of them, if you pass both your first 2 or you fail both your first 2, you only do 2.
Yeah.
But if you pass one and fail one, you'll do a third. It's kind of like best out of 3.
Yeah.
So I ended up I failed my first one. And then,
let's put the pressure on.
Yeah, dude, the guy, I could not stand that guy. I was on crutches because I just had hip surgery.
Oh, okay.
Going into this interview.
Yeah.
So I got subs at service assignment. Maybe, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe service assignment is like second semester. Because I did my interview first.
I thought subs, the way that you kind of explained it to me, which was quite a while ago now, was that like subs you got early notice?
You could.
Oh, okay.
So you can apply for what's called early selection, and you can go do your interview and get subs as early as your junior year, which I applied for, and they were like, yeah, sure, buddy. Nice try.
How's that 2.0 looking?
Yeah, whatever you say, idiot. Which, totally fair, looking at my GPA, completely reasonable. Can't be upset. Cannot be upset. So, what I actually had to do was, they did basically like this extra interview process, where what I did was, I met with like this submarine officer, Lieutenant English, Nick, shout out, that guy's really cool. He works at the same place as my father-in-law now, at the Applied Physics Lab up in Maryland. But anyway, so I met with him for a few weeks, and we did like practice interviews.
Okay.
And then after that, I did literally like a technical interview with 3 submarine officers on the yard. So it was just like it is when you go to the actual naval reactors interview.
Yeah.
So I went in and they would be like, all right, do this problem. Prove to me XYZ, you know, like, whatever. And it was stuff like, it was ridiculous, dude. It was like, one time I remember walking into Lieutenant English's office and I had like a coffee cup from lunch. And he was like, calculate the volume of that coffee cup. And I was like, kind of turned it. I was like, oh, it says 12 ounces. It was like, oh, nice try. And so like, it's just kind of like how you think and like, how can you solve problems and things like that. Like a lot of math and physics based stuff.
I would hope so.
Yeah, so...
It seems like you need to deal with that quite a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So it was just like that, and then... So I passed those interviews with the submarine officers on the yard, and so then what they did is they basically wrote me a letter of recommendation to Naval Reactors and said, hey, we vetted this person. And they did that for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And they were basically like, we vetted this person. We recommend that this person receives an interview at Naval Reactors to go submarine.
So that was like your second shot?
Yeah, more or less. So it was like because really, like, if I hadn't passed those interviews, I wouldn't have gotten even a chance to go to Naval Reactors.
So you failed the first one, went to the yard.
Well, no. So I never even went to Naval Reactors.
Oh, you never went? Oh, okay.
Before this. So I did all of these interviews at the yard,
so the yard
and that's what gave me the shot to go to Naval Reactors.
Okay.
Because otherwise, when I had applied, right, Naval Reactors were like, no. Like, that's not going to happen.
Buddy.
And they were like, well, he really wants to. And they were like, all right.
Guys!
And they were like, and so Naval Reactors was like, all right, well, he should prove it. Like, why don't you show me that he can do it?
How bad you want it?
Yeah, so I did that with them, and then...
Okay.
I go to my interview at Naval Reactors. I failed the first technical interview in the morning. The guy was, oh my God, dude. It was so stressful. Because the guy was just like, and they do this on purpose. This is like the Naval Reactors personality. Is like never going to tell you if you're right or wrong. They're just going to be like, okay.
Yeah, I was talking to Mark about like his going through like, golly. Part of med school.
I'm sure it's very similar.
It's very similar idea of like you walk into this room with like 3 professionals and they're like, all right, here's a patient. And they just start like, all right, heart rate dropped. Blood pressure's losing.
Yeah.
You know, like just throwing out random things to try to make like the patient die, essentially. And you just have to be like, oh, off the cuff. Oh yeah.
Well, dude, that's actually very similar to what my final board was. Yeah. At Prototype, because I had one of my senior engineers on my crew, I had an officer, and then I had a Naval Reactors representative. Yeah. And they basically did exactly the same thing of like, all right, you're standing watch, suddenly you see this indication.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What other indications are you looking at? What, like diagnose the casualty, know the actions, like where are you going to go in the reference, like things like that. So it's very similar in that way. The Naval Reactors interviews were not at all like that because they don't expect you to know anything about nuclear power. You don't have the knowledge.
Yeah.
it's more just like problem solving stuff. But like my first interview, dude, I remember it was so rough. I was sweating like a hooker in church. I was like,
drenched.
I was sweating bullets, and this guy would like ask me questions. And first of all, they tell you when you go in the interviews, they're like, talk to them a little bit about like where they went to school, like what they're interested in, like basically try to eat up some time and build up some rapport with this person. Mm-hmm. That guy was not interested in doing any of that. I asked him, I sat down and I was like, hey, how's it going, sir? And he was like, I'm fine. Let's begin. And I was like, oh, like, he had like I forget which college it was. He had like a coffee cup with like a university logo on there. And I was like, oh, you go to school? He's like, yes, I did. Answer the question, please.
You can answer that or not. What are we doing
I was
here?
like, all right,
buddy, I'm not loving this.
So it just made me really nervous.
Yep.
And then the next two guys were a lot more generous with their, like, they were just nicer. Yeah. They just made me feel more comfortable, which was really helpful.
Sounds big help.
Yeah, so I passed those next two, and then your like personal interview is with the director of Naval Reactors, who is, right now it's Admiral Houston, who is the highest ranking admiral in the Navy. And so it's a very like formalized process.
Yeah.
And you wait outside. So there's like 3 people that are waiting outside, and then you go into what's called the batter's box. And so that's like the next person to go.
Yeah.
And then you have the person that's in the room. And so like I'm standing.
You get to watch one person come out that's like killed. And then you got to like, great, my turn to go in the room. And you're just watching the line. Like.
Yeah, it's like, so it's like the dugout, the batter's box, and then your home plate, right? And you are, so.
You got an expert pitcher on the mound. You're just
crutched in.
Yeah.
I like crutched into this guy's office. And he was like, what happened to you? And I like kind of explained it to him, and he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, so, why don't you talk to me about your grades? And I gave him this like, which, while very genuine, it was like exactly, like my explanation of like, well, I didn't really care about my grades. I was focused on, like I had an ACL surgery. I was focused on getting better from that. Because I wanted to go Marines, and then I changed my mind, and then I was like, okay, well, now I actually have to care about my grades. And if you look and you see when I started putting in effort, like my grades actually got a lot better.
Yeah.
And so like I think I've really improved like my time management skills and stuff. It was very rehearsed, but it was very genuine. And
he just shot through it.
No, he was like, all right, well, I agree. He was like, I think like if that's the case, like. You started putting in some effort, and you actually showed a lot of improvement in classes that should be harder. Mm-hmm. So he was like, and basically he was like, just promise me that like you're not gonna go like skiing or snowboarding and hurt yourself again. And I was like, that sounds like a deal. And he was like, all right, thanks. And then I just walked out. And like that was it. Some people like, so. Traditionally, right, like the guy who started the Navy nuclear program, Admiral Rickover, he was notorious for being like an asshole in interviews. And in fact, if you go to Naval Reactors to do the interview, the batter's box, in the batter's box, they have a chair it's like behind glass and stuff. But what Admiral Rickover did was he cut the front 2 legs. He cut the ends off by like a couple inches, and so that way like people sat like this, like and they're very uncomfortable like trying to sit correctly. One of my electrical engineering professor at Navy was he was the last class to actually interview with Admiral Rickover, and so I remember him telling me this story of like he goes to interview with him. And Admiral Rickover's like, well, why don't you talk about your grades? Fair question. And the guy thought he was going to get some points for being honest with him. And he was like, well, to be honest, sir, like we just got a TV in the wardroom, and I've just been spending too much time like watching TV. He thought he was going to get some honesty points. Said Admiral Rickover exploded and was like, you mean to tell me the Navy pays you to go to school? They pay you to study. And you're watching TV on the Navy's time. You're just sitting around watching TV with these grades. And he had like a 3.4. Like, his grades were not bad. He was an electrical engineering major. Like, it wasn't bad. And so eventually... Yeah, and so eventually Admiral Rickover gets around to calling him a thief because he's stealing from the Navy by wasting time on the Navy's dollar. And so then he says, you know what? Why don't you take this phone right here? Call your father. And the guy's like, what? He's like, yeah, call your dad right now. And so he calls his dad, and Admiral Rickover takes the phone and is like, sir, how do you feel about raising a thief? Like, how does that make you feel? You raised a person that's going to steal from the United States Navy. and so basically Rickover like accosts him for like an hour and then hangs up the phone and he's like, all right, get out of my office. The guy's like, okay. And then one of the guys, one of like Rickover's assistants comes in and is like, hey, congrats, man. like there was one occasion where like historically Rickover locked a guy in a closet for like 3 hours. Like during an interview. So like these interviews are notoriously insane. Terrible. Like one of my friends, his dad is like a nuclear surface guy. Mm-hmm. And so my friend went into the interview and he's like, oh, you're Brandon's boy. He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, how's he doing? Everything all right? I was like, yep. And the guy's like, all right, well, congrats. Like, just gets up and leaves. Some people, like...
So it's either, like,
it just totally depends. And you can never predict it.
So the guy... worst moment of your life, or it's just like... Oh,
yeah, the guy before Admiral Houston, Admiral Caldwell, who I met once before, really nice guy, but, like... He historically would put on the Rickover thing a little bit and like try to like mess with people. Yeah. Admiral Houston, I was in his first round of interviews, so I think he was kind of getting the feel for like what he
wants to do.
Yeah, what he wanted to do. But like, yeah, he was awesome. Admiral Caldwell, also awesome. Admiral Rickover's dead. I'm sure he was a fine guy.
Great guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Golly, that would be tough.
But yeah, the interview was crazy. And then. So, if you pass that interview before service selection, you're getting subs.
Oh, okay.
But if you get subs first at service selection, you have to pass the interview to actually get subs. So, like...
You're not in it.
Yeah, you're not in until Naval Reactor says that you're in. And then from
there... Top dog says, like, you got it.
Yeah, so you get that.
I mean, that kind of makes...
Yeah, it does make sense.
You just kind of get a bid for, like, all right, we can go interview for this, but...
Yeah, basically, and so...
You just go fall, like, to your second option if you don't get it, or it's, like, free fall to whatever you can land in after that?
To be honest, I don't know off the top of my head.
You know?
I think it might be...
I think there's a Kanye quote about that.
I think it depends all on what your second option is.
Yeah.
I want to say it's kind of like a free-for-all of, like, who wants you...
Guess we'll never know.
Yeah, like, what other community wants you?
Yeah.
What community do you want to be a part of? Mm-hmm. Like... I think there's a lot that goes into it if you fail. Also, sometimes, right, like people will go to the interview and get invited back. So they'll be like, hey, you didn't do that great in the interview, but maybe they see some potential. Maybe like your grades are really good and you were just nervous today. And they'll be like, all right, why don't you come back on this day and we'll interview again. And we'll try it again. And like...
Stadium Pulse is a 5.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we are rocking.
Yeah.
Dude, if you get told to come back, Stadium Pulse is out the roof.
Well, dude, honestly, that beats getting told to just like kick rocks.
I mean, that beats getting told to kick rocks, but it's also like
you better perform.
No pressure or anything.
Yeah, you better perform on that next.
But on Tuesday, you better show up to play.
Yeah, you better be ready.
No pressure.
Yeah, you better be ready.
Yeah, I know you're nervous and all that, a lot of pressure built up, but how does Tuesday at 10 o'clock sound?
But also, I'll say, like, I think once you've done it once, you feel a lot better about it the second time.
I mean, probably.
Like, once you have gone in there and done it, it's like, all right.
Anytime you get experience doing something, it's probably like, same time.
Yeah, you're not as nervous about it. You know kind of how things are going to go. Because, like, that is just one thing that really contributes, I think, is just...
But at the same time, if I was betting, like, the next 8 years of my life on something, it would kind of be, We're rocking
you're gonna
a
be
little
nervous.
bit.
You're gonna be nervous.
We're a little bit heavy on the, man, pressure is on.
Yeah. But, no, literally, I did the interview, and then I walked out, and I, like, signed a contract, and I was like, yeah.
I'll see you.
I got $30,000 in my bank account.
And you're like, gang?
Yeah. It's nice. Big bonus.
Yeah, big bonus. Big epic. Big epic. We love that.
Yeah. I think I get another bonus.
Contribute to the boys. That's what we love.
Yeah.
Help the boys out. Do all of you go to Charleston? No.
All the nuclear guys, yeah.
Okay. So
all the sub guys go to Charleston.
I didn't know if there was like different.
Well, so they're gonna open up a new. It's not new.
Ooh, new drop.
So there has always been like a prototype in New York. Prototype unit in New York. It closed down for a while to do like some refueling and stuff like that.
The Manhattan.
But yes, no. So they're reopening that pretty soon to start sending people up there. But for the time being, most everybody's going to Charleston.
That's kind of nice. I didn't know if it'd be like spread out over a couple bases or whatever.
No, so I mean, Power School is all in Charleston. There's only one Power School in Charleston, and then once you go to Prototype, that's like you could go to New York, but I don't know when that's actually opening up. Supposedly sometime soon, but they've been saying that for a couple of years.
Hypothetically. Sign your contract, go to subs, Power School, all that. You finally get to the end of Naval Academy. What's graduation week like? Because that's the... You got to go see graduation day. And that was pretty electric.
Yeah, grad week is just a bender.
Yeah, from
like
your
it's
perspective.
Really just like you are
having fun.
There are a couple like events like you have to go to, and you're showing up hungover to all of them, and like you know, because everybody. It's weird too because like graduation week, dude. I got invited to parties of people that like I never really talked to. I invited people that like I had spoken to once to parties of just because like it's fun. Like
all of us are hanging out. We're all celebrating.
Yeah, suddenly everybody's in the same boat. Like people that I thought didn't even really like me very much
gave you an invite.
Were inviting me to things. They were like, "Hey, why don't you come by my sponsor's house, man? We're having a rager," and it's just like, hell yeah, dude! Like I'm on the way. No, grad week is like. You are just kind of sitting around drinking like the whole time. Like the Blue Angels do like a performance. You know, there's because the Blue Angels they do a practice the day before.
Okay.
And then they do a performance on Wednesday.
All right.
So they do a practice on Tuesday, performance on Wednesday. So people will have parties for the practice. They'll like rent houses on the bay. And then like throw these huge parties for the practice, and then you'll also do a huge party for the performance. The thing is, the performance though is based around like a field at the Naval Academy.
Oh, okay.
So normally there's less alcohol involved there at those because if you want to see the actual show, you go sit on this field. And
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like you're just. Basically, everybody's families come up, and it's like
everyone's
just a big party for a week.
You get 7 days of partying straight.
Yeah, you're suddenly a citizen of the world. Yeah. Like you know, you suddenly become very magnanimous to everyone. And you're buying everybody drinks and stuff. It's like, it's a good time. I like grad week. Grad week is fun.
We'll say your graduation is longer than anything.
It's very long.
The actual ceremony is.
Very long.
A doozy in the hot sun. I gotta
Especially, because it's so hot.
Yeah. But it does, looking down on the field, I gotta say, it'd kind of be epic. It looks like all of y'all are having like a good time. Of like, once you get like the diploma, you walk off and everyone's just, hugging and like dapping up. And, like,
dude. It's crazy because like you will see officers that like you've maybe only met once or twice. And like, I had like captains, like 06s that have been in the Navy for 20 years. After I graduated, they come up later, congrats, dude, like, bring it in, like, just getting stoked. And then I didn't even really know. So it's like everybody during grad week just becomes really excitable.
Electric vibe.
Yeah, it's a really good vibe.
So fun.
Like, and you're sitting next to people, like, it's because it's all in alphabetical order. And it's like you're sitting next to people that, like, you don't really know, But like when you get your diplomas, it's like like you're hugging and like there's so much to it, and it's a lot of fun. I like grad.
Me and Vernon got a couple hot dogs and waters in between. Like
I don't blame you, dude.
Start of the ceremony and your name. We had
I don't blame you. Time. You guys had some time.
We had some time to kill.
Had some serious time.
Sat in the shade for dude under the stadium. Got a little fan under there. I was like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I can't imagine how that. Like, it's gotta feel pretty good because even like our ceremony, just at like Clemson, it felt cool. Like everyone was like having a good time, but it was not nearly the level of like that. It wasn't like.
Well, there's a lot of pomp and circumstance to it. There's a lot
of different stuff.
Just with everybody being in uniform and stuff, that just adds a whole dimension that like you don't even really think about.
Right. There's a lot of stuff to it that makes it extra special.
Yeah, it's just a very like. It also, dude, it feels like the end of forever.
Yeah.
Like there's just something about being at Navy where it's like every day feels so long.
Every day
and
for the
so
past
it's
4
like,
years have been just
and it's like
tough.
When you get to graduation week, like there's this feeling of like by that time I had already moved in to like my apartment in Annapolis that I was gonna have for a little while, and I was like, because in a normal college, right, like you for the most part, right, like when did you stop living in the dorms? Because you went to Anderson.
I lived in the dorms at Anderson for the first, like, semester.
Yeah.
And then I transferred to Tri-County, and I lived with Luke.
Yep.
For, like, 9 months. And then, my experience is kind of random, but I also, like, the dorms at Anderson sucked. Just because, like, I think it would have been better. Meaning, Kay's going to touch on this a little bit. Anderson, unique vibe. Some people love it.
Very unique vibe.
Probably, it did not fit me later in life when I kind of figured out. Going to college, kind of figured out, more stuff about myself, and also just unique time.
Yeah,
I'll give Anderson benefit of the doubt that unique time, but it was like, all right, you can't have anyone in your dorm. You're supposed to like do all this like isolation stuff, and it was like, all right, you can't really meet people. You can't really like hang out, and so it was like. Never got any true like friends outside of like one or
you lived with
two
Will,
people.
Right?
Yeah, I had Will, but me and Will was gone for like.
I remember him.
He would normally be at Clemson, but then I would also go to Clemson like during the weekend, anyways.
Yeah.
Because it was like, why would I stay? Like,
there's
I don't know anyone here. There's not like no one's like trying to hang out. You can't really hang out because it's like it's such a small campus that like. You can get kind of yelled at for anything. So it's kind of like, So I don't know. Weird time. So I never really got a dorm experience. Mm-hmm. But living with like Luke and stuff, that was fun. Like.
Yeah, I mean the big thing though for us is like. All 4 years at the Naval Academy, it doesn't matter if you are a freshman or a senior. You don't really feel like a real boy. Like you do your own laundry. Probably because that's the easier thing to do, but you never cook for yourself.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You like, you don't really take out your own trash. Like you just kind of set it outside your room and like, there's a lot like
of regular
there's a lot
responsibilities
that's done for you.
Yeah.
Because you have like so many other responsibilities that the Naval Academy says are more important, which whether you agree or disagree, right? Yeah. Like. The Naval Academy says these things are more important, therefore you don't have time to cook for yourself. So, because of that, right, you're not ever going to cook for yourself.
Yeah.
You're never going to really have to worry about going to get groceries. You're never going to, more or less, like, pay any bills. You're never going to, like, worry about driving to work. Yeah. Like, driving anywhere, really. So...
Every regular day task is like kind of taken for
you. Is done for you.
Like you don't have to go battle in like a Publix on a Sunday at like 11 o'clock when like
everybody else is there.
Why is every single person going to the grocery store today?
Yeah, so I think, and so that was. I think that's a really exciting part of grad week for us too. Is like you feel like you're becoming a real person. Like finally, for the past 4 years, somebody has been breathing down your neck about everything. And, like, finally you're leaving and you're going to go be by yourself. And like that, I think, is a very freeing part of graduation, because it's also like, yeah, sure, I graduated from a school and like I commissioned as an officer, wonderful stuff, but at the same time my chains are gone. Yeah. I've been set free, hallelujah, like I am leaving. Yeah. I don't have to do this anymore. And I think that like that is part of why so many people are so excited. Is I think that's like the bigger side of it, is it's not just that like you graduated, it's that you're done. Yeah. You never have to do that again. Like, there's a great interview with a guy that went to the Naval Academy. I don't even know who it is. I just see the clip a lot. But it's like, he talks about, he's like, it's a great place to be from. It's not a great place to be. And it's like, you wake up every single morning and you're like, I hate myself. like that's literally how it happens. And so like, you know, graduation comes around and it's like, for the first time, you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, I don't hate myself. Yeah. You're going to wake up and I'm going to be a free man. Yeah. And you're not a free man because you still got to go to work and do whatever. But like, for all intents and purposes, dude, it's like you are your own person that like,
there's really, a big part of that. It's like you're finally, it's kind of like everyone.
It feels like when you learn to drive, man.
Kind of.
It feels like when you got a driver's license.
It's like everyone else's first week of college of like, wow.
It kind of is,
I can go do whatever I want to right now.
It like, kind of is.
There's no stopping me. And it's like you've had that delayed
there's a delayed gratification.
Like, and I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, getting to go see the Naval Academy, like, when we went to see your graduation and stuff, it's like, wow. This would be a very unique place to go, but at 18, I don't think I could go do that. Like,
well, it's one of those things like
there's so many parts between 18 and like 21 that like events I needed to happen to like figure out myself.
Well, dude, I'll say this.
But I imagine you have your own like.
I'll say this, dude. I needed concept. See, because I don't think I could have done the other side. I think that if I went to like a Clemson or Auburn or like
whatever
UNC or wherever, right? Like, if I went somewhere like that, I was gonna be off the chain. Like, I would have been off the leash, and it wouldn't have been good. Like, I held in a lot for being in high school, and then like, if I had gone somewhere with all that freedom, like,
it would have been bad.
Yeah, I would have quickly like failed out of my scholarships, and that would have been bad.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of people that need that.
Yeah, and so that was one of the things that I also recognized about the Naval Academy is like, this place is going to hold me accountable and like get me through, whether they have to drag me by my toes or not. I would also argue, and like, if anybody from the Naval Academy is listening right now,
please do.
I like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, it's not the worst thing to break some rules every now and then. Like, I would argue that, like,
live your life.
Your best officers out of the Naval Academy, 9 times out of 10, were not perfect midshipmen. Well, and, like, whether they got caught or not, that's a different story, right? Like,
I'm not here to discuss that. I'm not, hypothetically speaking.
I'm just saying, like, if you go through the Naval Academy and you never break a single rule and you do everything you're supposed to all the time, first of all, you're a robot. Like, I don't know how you would do that.
Yeah.
Second of all, you are going to be such a risk-averse officer where, like, when it comes time for a tough decision to be made,
I feel like you need a little bit
you need to have a little bit, you need to have a little bit of, like...
rebellion.
Yeah, a little bit there of, like... And I'm not saying that people should be going out and getting DUIs.
You shouldn't be off the chain.
You shouldn't have a drinking problem. You shouldn't, like... I'm not saying that there's anything...
Somewhere between a robot and off the chain, you
need to find yourself a happy
gray area
where you get some life experiences because it's very easy. It's not easy, but it's certainly possible to go through the Naval Academy, never really leave your room, and just like, you just kind of don't really experience anything. And I think that like... From 18 to 22.
There's a lot of experiences you need to have.
There's a lot of experiences to be had. Just a lot of exposure to get. Like, you know what, man? Like,
there's so many things that happen in between those, like, life-changing events that, like...
And you can't avoid those. I think avoiding those makes you a less capable just adult in general.
I think so.
And I think that a big part of being an officer is being a good adult. Like...
I think part of that's, like... you have these times where it's like, wow, I really screwed up right here, and now I need to scramble to try to figure out how to fix this.
Yep, because there's a lot of... Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, you need to make some mistakes, for sure. I think that's just important as a person. I think
that's important to have just in general. Like...
Well, I think also, dude, because you're going to show up. Like, I'm going to show up, and I'm going to have a division when I get to my boat, right? And my division is going to be a lot of guys that are older than me, but also a lot of guys that are younger than me.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, there's something to be said. Like, if somebody comes to me and is like, hey, sir, like, I got in trouble for drinking underage. If I have no empathy for that, and if I've got no experience, and then my immediate reaction is just to, like, judge this person and be like, well, you shouldn't have done that. Like, that's not actually helpful, or... that doesn't do anything to help this person. Like,
it's not really helping anyone in this situation.
So it's like, you know, I'm not saying you need to go out and commit felonies. I'm just saying,
should, like, condone it or support it.
Yeah, and I'm not condoning
anything. An understanding and, like, a compassion to, or like, what's happening in life.
Yeah, because if you can't empathize, if you can't empathize with the problems of a normal 18 to 22-year-old, like, as a leader of 18 to 22-year-olds, you're not going to be doing probably the most phenomenal job. Yeah. Like, that's just a...
People are probably not going to like you.
Yeah, you're just, like, they're not... Like, if I had never experienced anything, you know, I'm sure my sailors are going to be like, well, I'm not going to tell Ensign Janosky anything. Like, he's just going to chew me out and, like, you know. Yeah. So then I'm going to be cut out of the loop, and suddenly that's a bigger problem, like... And so I think it's just better, like,
to get some life experience.
There are pluses in like, talking to my friends that were in ROTC, they got a lot more of that side, and a lot less of the, like, actual kind of experience of, like, you know, just being around people in a professional setting and, like, having some expectation of leadership. Like, not to say that there's any good or bad, like, there's pluses and minuses to both paths, but, like, they bring a very different skill set than I do,
right?
Comparatively, just because of how our college experiences were built. And so,
well, how they go, I mean, it's like,
so, like, my friends that were in, like, frats at UCLA and Vanderbilt are gonna have vastly different outlooks on things than I will. And that's just, like,
it's everyone's personal experience.
Yeah, exactly.
But overall, you gotta have some ground standing of, like, all right, this is a general experience of how, you know, things can go down.
Well, and at the same time, right? Like,
you can't just be a rope. Like, you can't just go through it and be like, you didn't follow code 301, section A, B. Like, it's just not.
And I think those guys will have, like, because they got some leadership experience through doing ROTC, the same way that I got some real boy experience.
Yeah.
You know, just going out on my own and finding it.
Yeah.
So we both kind of have, like, knowledge of the other side. It's just like, you know, I think that it would be very dangerous to have someone in a leadership position that has no experience whatsoever of either side.
Right.
You gotta have at least a little bit. I think that's very important.
Yeah. I can see it. I mean, I think that makes pretty practical sense on any level of, like, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, no, it's not just like being in the Navy or the military
or whatever. It's like, if you're gonna manage anyone, it's like, well, you should have some understanding of, like, what people go through.
Of the scenario that they're in.
Yeah, it's not like...
or at least, like, the stage of life that they're in.
Yeah, like, if you're just like, discredit, like, how could you even do that? It's just like, all right.
Yeah, you're kind of useless.
You're not really, like, coming at this from, like, all right, I can make people better around me, I can bring them in, I can understand, you know, sometimes you have to, you know, be a hard ass or whatever, but, you know, it's picking your here and there that life experience gives you.
Yeah, and I want to put it out there, like, I've had officers before that very clearly, like, haven't had a beer ever, and it's like, you know, but the thing is like, they find a way to still be empathetic to whatever your cause, like, whatever your problem is. Whether they've experienced or not, they can at least sympathize, if not empathize. Yeah. And so they're still coming at it from, like, a delicate perspective versus just the straight up, like, what's your problem?
Yeah, you know? It's like, kind of approaching you like a human being versus, like, you're not a robot. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just finding your humanity a little bit.
Yeah, that's important. I'd say that's a very important task of every phase of life. I would
agree with that.
I would say so. Just throwing it out there. Just guessing. Going in power school, nuke school. What was that? Showing up like, because you go through and like, you're basically from the past like 2 years, year and a half, year. Time flies when you're having fun.
It does.
And you go to work every day. It's just been like, wow, I gotta study for
forever, for the rest of my life.
What's that kind of like first experience like of like? Because I mean, I imagine you're around some of the smartest people.
Oh my god!
In the room,
I was around geniuses.
Humbling time.
All the time. Very humbling experience.
Yeah.
Also, I just got hosed.
Happens to the best of us.
I really found out what kind of student I was, and I was a solid B student. Like,
that's
consistently, no matter how much I studied,
B.
I was gonna get. I think that there were like 4 or 5 tests in a row at power school, because power school, the way it works is like, so you're only ever taking 3 classes at a time.
Okay.
So like you start and you're doing math, physics, and I think the other one is heat, like thermo. So you're doing those, right? And then week 1, you'll have like your first math test, like on Friday. And then you'll start math 2 next week.
Yeah.
And then you take physics 1 next Friday. And so then you'll start physics 2 and you'll have heat 1 that next week.
It's just like every week.
So every week you take a test and then your class just like moves with that. And then you'll start like chemistry, or then you'll start like whatever. So like you're taking a test every week, and like of course they get progressively harder because you've got like math, physics, thermo, which most people have seen. And that's kind of like the big theme of like your first month. And then your second month you'll get into like chemistry, and then you'll still be doing a little bit of physics and another portion of heat. And then I think, so then you're done with math, and then your third month you start to get into reactor dynamics, and then you do, I think you start electrical engineering also, like in that third month. But you're taking, you're doing an exam every week, and so your first 3 months aren't that bad. Pretty kind of intro stuff. And then your back 3 months are just like getting hit in the head with a hammer every single day. Like you're just getting beat with a rock.
Yeah.
And so, but I think there were like 4 or 5 tests in a row that I got like within 1 point of a 3.15. Like just in a row. Like no matter how much I studied, didn't matter what the subject was, just like a 3.15, like consistently through the thing. But it was like, dude, you go, class starts at 7, you would have like an hour for lunch, and then you come back and class ends at 3:30. And then after that, you just study, because you can't take, all the materials confidential, so you can't take with you, so you gotta stay there. You can't bring phones into the building, can't bring like smartwatches into the building. Yeah. So you are just studying, and like, some people, right, like depending on your grades, you get mandatory study hours. So like I knew a guy that was on 25 TAC 5s, which means that he had to do 25 hours of studying outside of normal class time a week. Plus, well, not plus, it was 5 of those hours had to be like, so you had to do like at least 5 hours per workday. So that's what the TAC 5 meant.
So you're doing like, so you were there from 7 to 3, so you're staying there till like at least 8 o'clock.
Yeah, he was staying there till
8 o'clock. Every single day. So you're doing like a 13-hour day.
Oh, yeah. Easy. And like there were plenty of times, like, the thing is...
How many hours you putting in a day?
I would put in normally...
Like 10?
10 or 11.
I would say,
yeah. Well, so in the beginning, I would get closer to like 9 or 10.
Well, when you're going through like your...
Yeah, when you're going through the earlier stuff.
I wouldn't say basics at this point, but
like... It kind of is basic stuff, though, and then you would... So I would do...
Once you ramp up.
Yeah, because you also had homework. So, like, I would stay and I'd do homework for an hour, and then I'd leave. And then normally I would come in on the weekends for maybe 3 or 4 hours. Just like on a Saturday or a Sunday, just to get ready for the next test. Yeah, and then, so for the first few months, I got away with pretty minimal study time. Like, I would normally log about, like, 5 to 6 study hours a week.
Is it all, like, honor system?
No, you badge in and out of the building. So you scan your badge in, and then...
Clocking in and out.
Yeah, you clock in, and then it doesn't actually count any of the time that, like, from 7 to 3:30, none of that time counts.
It doesn't count, yeah.
But, like, basically, depending on what time you scan out, it just subtracts that time.
It's like 2.
Yeah, so then it'll display when you clock out, it'll be like total study hours 2.5.
Okay. I was like, no way they're doing this.
No, they track it. Okay. So yeah, in the beginning, I was doing like 5 or 6 hours a week total. And then by the time I got to the end, I was looking at like 15 hours a week of...
You're doing like 3 hours a day of like extra.
Yeah, close, around about.
So you think? I mean, that's tough. So you're doing like a 50-hour week, kind of pretty close to it.
Yeah, more or less, like 50 to 60, depending on the exam. Like, you know, like Reactor Dynamics 2 and EE4. I spent a lot of time on.
Is it something just like the course or class, just like, man? This does not make sense. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of, like, and then there are, like, some classes, like,
where it's like,
Reactor Plant Operations is, like, one class that we have. And, like, that one's just a lot of, like, memorizing.
Oh, okay.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, that one, you just have to spend time with.
Yeah.
You just have to spend time with it. So, you know, I spent, depending on what I was doing, I would spend, like, you know, a lot more time here versus a lot more time there.
Whatever. Yeah. Just spread out however you needed it.
Yeah, but generally...
It's a 50-hour week.
Yeah, generally
once
50 hours. Yeah, once it ramped up, I would... And then, like, towards the end, I think the week before a comp exam, I was doing, like, 60 hours. I think I did 60 hours that week. And that was just, like, pure studying, too. Because, like, by that time, you don't have any class anymore.
Yeah, so you're just like...
Yeah. So it's just studying. And
that's
then,
tough.
Yeah, so comp is like... I think comp is like an 8-hour exam.
Was comp your final... Is that like kind of your pass-fail?
No. So there's like some conditions on which you can pass or fail. Like, if you... Basically, if you fail a certain number of subjects, you are automatically rolled back to the class behind, or you're just dropped from the program.
What does it take to like get... You know what the differential is there?
What do you mean differential?
Like, so like versus getting dropped or versus like getting rolled back?
If you fail, so like 2.5 is passing.
Okay.
So if you're failing with like a 2.49, they're probably gonna roll you.
But if you're
failing with like a 1, hit the road, brother.
Hit that for you.
Yeah, hate to see it. But it also is totally based on like how much you've been studying. Like, do they think you've been putting in effort? Interviews with like your staff advisor and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. There are some people that like,
that's pretty interesting.
You know, maybe should have been rolled that got dropped. Some people that got dropped that maybe could have been rolled. Like, it just depends.
It's very much up to like it's very situational.
Yeah, it's very situational, and like also once you get to a certain point, they won't roll you because you're too far behind.
So once you only get one rollback, I'm assuming.
Generally, yes.
I would kind of guess.
You only get one roll, yes, and then like.
Which kind of.
Like one of my buddies, like, he failed the last exam before comp, and then he was already kind of on the rocks, and they just dropped him because they were like, we're not going to roll you. And he didn't really want to be there anyway, so he's like, all right, that's fine. But, like...
Can you kind of fight for it and be like, hey...
He didn't want to be there. He was
if you wanted to be there, could you be like, hey...
Yeah, you could probably push for it, but that still is not a guarantee.
And it's not like you're getting it, but you could at least be like, hey, man.
Yeah. So...
but it's probably like you're still catching the L.
Yeah.
So they probably just likely for you. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but that's just like a lot of class. It's just class, really.
Just straight class every single day.
Class.
That's rough.
Brutal.
Until you hit like your final your course exam.
Yeah, and even then you get like a week to study for it. You get like a week.
Is that the same process of like you sit in there and you have a panel? That kind of
No, so that's just a paper exam. Oh. So you just go in and it's just like it's like this thick and this thick for the camera.
How many questions are you?
I have no idea how many questions it was.
Oh, it doesn't number.
But it does number it. I just don't remember. But it's got a certain number of questions from every subject, and then you take the exam, and then they grade it, and then you either pass or you fail.
How quickly do you get that pass-fail?
We got the night of.
That's kind of nice.
They all stay and grade them. So like they'll stay after work and grade.
There's nothing.
Like, that's like the hardest part of their job as instructors is like staying to grade the exams.
Nothing like getting that. Well, I guess it's not Canvas notification for you, or maybe.
Well, they send out like a sheet, and it basically just has your name and then your score, and then somebody else's name and their score, and then.
So you just get the whole list of the whole class.
So you get the whole list. Like,
mass email.
But also.
That's it.
For comp specifically, so like for other tests it doesn't matter, but for comp specifically, before they send out that sheet, they will personally call everyone that failed. So they'll call them and be like, hey, you failed, like you're gonna have to recomp. Sorry. Hate to see it.
Hate that for you, for real.
But then once they've done all those phone calls, they'll send out the...
At least they give you a heads up. And like...
Yeah, they do. Because comp is like a big deal, because if you pass comp on the first try, you get like 2 weeks off before graduation.
Nice. Epic.
But if you fail comp, you have to go back and like study for recomp.
Oh, okay.
And then you don't graduate on time. You graduate like the next week in like a concatenated ceremony that...
Yeah.
After that... So it's kind of it sucks because of that, because of like the stakes. You know, at the end of the day, you're still in the same class as everybody else.
Yeah.
So like...
Plus, I don't know. It'd be nice. At least you don't have to go like square one.
Yeah, you don't go all the way back, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's bonus. After that, are you done at that point, or do you have one more?
I'm done with, at that point I would be done with power school.
And
so you pass comp and you're done with power school.
Are you done done with school? Or where do you go to?
Well, no, so the next place you go is prototype.
Okay, so prototype.
Yeah, so you go to prototype, and that is a much different situation. Like, it is, basically they hand you this book, it's like this thick, it's your qual card, and the book is filled with just signatures. Signature blocks.
What are signatures, do you mean? What do you
Literally mean? Blocks for people to sign it.
Oh.
So the book, it'll have like, so you flip to a random page and it'll say like, explain XYZ. And then you have to go find somebody that's qualified and say, hey, I would like to do this checkout with you. And they'll be like, yes, I have time. And then they'll start asking you questions about this thing. And once you have demonstrated substantial knowledge on that thing, they'll sign your book. And like, that's a check in the box.
That's like the craziest yearbook ever.
Yeah, it's like yearbook signatures, dude. It is. It's like, have a great summer. Knows this. Like, yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
And so literally, like, you're just hunting down.
When you sign my yearbook.
Yeah, no, dude, there's nothing more humiliating than going around just like asking people for signatures.
Nothing worse would be like, actually, no idea what.
And so like for the first 7 weeks of prototype, you're in what's called like the off crew phase. And it's you get a certain, like, you're expected to get certain checkouts during this time. Yeah. They just like establish like a knowledge base. And so you're working like fairly normal hours. It's like 7 to 5.
When you say working, what do you...
So you show up and like you'll have lectures some days.
Oh,
you'll
so
have
like class time kind of.
Yeah, but not really. Like basically you're in like a classroom and everybody's got a computer that they can study at and pull up references at and stuff. And so you're either studying or there's somebody giving a lecture or you are going out looking for checkouts. Like that's
Okay.
Kind of what you're doing during that time.
Gotcha.
And then you take a paper exam and an electronic exam at the end of that phase.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you go to crew.
Yeah.
Which is, crew is the rotating shift work part. So that's where, like, you now are going down to your boat, and you are starting to stand watch. You're starting to, like, actually, you know, get more specific type checkouts. And I think crew was a lot of fun. The rotating shift work, I didn't enjoy, obviously. Like, working 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. sucks.
Super not fun.
Yeah, and like shifting your sleep schedule sucks. You're 7 days on.
Third shift.
Yeah, you're 7 days on, 3 days off, and you're constantly rotating.
Yeah.
But like, you get to know the people on your crew really well.
Mm-hmm.
So like the enlisted guys that are on your crew, you get to know the officers that are on your crew. You get to know like your civilian supervisors on your crew really well. And so like, you're still doing training events and things like that, but most of it is literally just like go get checkouts. Like go stand watch, get checkouts.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and so then from there, you'll do your final events. Mm-hmm. So like you have an exam, you do your board, you do another watch board, like, which is like you stand watch and people observe you and, you know, kind of pass fail, like can you stand watch.
The standing watch, that's when you're getting grilled?
Not really. So that's the oral board where you're getting grilled. The standing watch is like you are actually standing watch at your watch station, and then they're going to just see how you control evolutions and like how you handle your watch team. Because as like an officer, you own the entire engineering plant, and so they want to see like, can you effectively stand watch and like demonstrate good control and like, good response and things like that to what's going on in the plant, totally separate from, because like you're like, while you're standing watch, all of your books and stuff are like available to you. So if you don't know the answer to something, you just pull the book off the shelf and look at it. And like, really what they're looking for is that if you don't know the answer, you just pull the book off the shelf and look at it. Right? Like,
makes sense.
Versus oral board is totally like, what do you know off the top of your head? Like, what can you tell me that you know off the top of your head without looking at any book at all? So that's like the
fun experience.
Yeah, that's the more fun time.
Yeah, that's a good time right there. All right, here's a super fun question for me to ask you that hope you know the answer to.
Yep, hope you enjoy it.
That you will absolutely, totally should know, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, so you'll do your final events with your crew and like, then you're done. Once you've done your oral board, that's the last thing you have to do. So that's like the last signature in your book. Yeah. And then from there, you are officially qualified. Go forth.
You are free.
Yeah.
You are a nuke man.
Yeah. So I think you get like some civilian qualification for it. I think for officers you get like senior reactor operator or something like that. So like you could transfer that over. Like if I wanted to work at like the plant in Hartwell or a Kiwi. Like I could work there, like, just based off that qualification.
I know a thing or two, because I've seen a thing or two.
Farmers Insurance. Shout out Farmers.
Yeah, so, no, there we go. That's kind of interesting. So then, you finish prototype.
Yep.
You then get your orders, and now, you know, pretty much what you're going.
Yeah.
Maryland.
Connecticut.
And
close.
I don't know why I keep thinking Maryland. I don't know why.
It's such a big theme in my life.
I guess so. Yeah, so then you'll go there for how long?
So normally you would go there for 3 years. Yeah.
How long is your actual, like, time now that you're, like, done with school?
So my C tour is 3 years.
Okay.
My C tour is 3 years that I owe, and then from there I'll go to a shore job, which will be somewhere else, but it's more like a 9 to 5. Like, that would be somebody that was like in charge of ROTC. So they'd go, and that's like a 2-year gig, and it's meant to be like kind of a break.
So you have like 5 years like left on your contract.
Well, no. So right now, I've got less than 4. Because I've done 1 year and some change. So that's another thing that's great about like the submarine community. One of the only communities where as soon as you commission, your commitment time starts.
Oh, okay.
So like pilots, their time doesn't start until they get their wings. So they're
like,
going to go 2 years of flight school.
Until you actually zoom on the plane.
So they're going to do 2 years of flight school without any of that ever counting towards their commitment.
Yeah.
Whereas like submarines, the day I commissioned, my timer started for 5 years.
Oh, okay.
So like now I've done a little over a year, like a year and 3 months.
Yeah. So by the time you actually get to like a boat or a sub, I'll be at like 4.5. Yeah, I'll have like by the time I get to a boat, I'll have like a year and a half done. So I'll only have 3.5 years left. So I'll have like 3 or 4 tours.
No, so I'll do 3 years on the same submarine.
Oh, okay.
And then from there, I'll just pick up a shore job to finish out like my 6 months.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And I'll probably sign on for like extra time just to finish that shore tour, to get that complete. Because, I mean, dude, it's just like a regular job. And I'm still getting paid. I'm getting paid the same amount of money that I was getting paid on a submarine.
But you should be.
But just to work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And I can start like building a resume and like interviewing at like civilian
Start
companies.
looking for an actual job to go to after.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What's like but for those 3 years where you're on a sub, what's that like actually look like? Of like, can you talk? I don't know. I mean, like you're a couple months out, I would imagine, of like actually at sea, and then you're actually back for a couple months, and then like.
Yeah, so it depends on your
tour or like the length.
It depends on the boat, right? Normally you'll do, I don't know, like.
You can give a range.
You'll do a deployment. Specific. You'll do 1 or 2 deployments. You know, totally depends on the boat for like how long those deployments are, what those deployments are doing, and then otherwise you're in port, and when you're in port, it's pretty much just like any other job. You'll probably show up. You'll stand watch like once every 3 days. It's like a 24-hour watch. So you like sleep on the boat and stuff once every 3 days.
Yeah.
But then otherwise, like you're just showing up to work. Like work starts at generally 7 o'clock, and then work till like 3. And you're just doing like, you know, different maintenance stuff, different like, you know, admin tasks, you know, whatever it may be. Like you're just.
Yeah, you're just kind of getting done with everything.
Yeah, it just kind of depends. Because normally, like while you're in port, you're either getting ready for a deployment or you are like just coming off of a deployment, like
so fixing up whatever.
Yeah, so you're fixing stuff, you're, you know, just taking a break, like whatever it is. But generally, yeah, for that time it's like you'll stand watch once every 3 days, but for the most part you're normally off by like 3.
Oh, pretty nice.
So you work like 7 to 3 and
that's a pretty good gig.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean it's a 9 to 5, but it's 7 to 3 instead. But also, generally, too, like, being on a boat is a significantly more difficult life because, like, a boat is now beholden to the big Navy's schedule of, like, what the big Navy needs to happen. And so, like, if you gotta stay until 10 p.m. to get something done, well, guess what? You gotta stay. Like, that sucks for everyone.
You.
Yeah, but, like, you know, or if you get a call that says, hey, we need you to leave tomorrow, you're gonna leave tomorrow, and like sucks. Whereas like shore tour gig, dude, there is nothing in the world that is that important that you need to stay
until
past the time you get off.
Yeah.
And you know come back.
Yeah.
So
that's very nice.
Yeah, so it's just like the schedule consistency and like the operational tempo that changes between a boat and a shore tour. That is like. A boat is significantly more unpredictable, and like things can break at any time. Like you have a lot more responsibilities and things like that. And like, whereas shore job, depending on what you're doing, like you know, I know some guys that their shore job, they get off at 2. And, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Might stand watch once every 40 days.
I know some government jobs that sound
nice. Like it's much closer to like a...
The timing wise sounds pretty incredible. I'm like, dang, that sounds pretty nice.
Yeah,
you know?
So...
It's not no 10-hour day. It's like, wow. Really bending into that. What 8 hours means.
Yes.
So you'll finish... Well, you do 8 years and then kind of be done, you think? Or do you think
I'll probably do 7 years.
7?
Oh. Yeah, I'll do 7.
7? You don't think you'll go longer than that?
Probably not.
Is there just kind of no benefit to going, like, beyond that?
I would hesitate to say there's no benefit. I'll probably, like, stay in the reserves. Because you still get, like, the healthcare and stuff. You just don't get the paycheck. So the healthcare is nice. But, like, for me, just, like, you know, I'm getting married in, like, 2 weeks. Like...
Yeah. Right.
When...
You don't want to be out at sea for the rest
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to have kids...
And that, like, you can't, like, be
that
there.
I don't get to be around for. You know, I know plenty of guys who, like, miss their kids' first steps, who miss the birth of their kid, like, you know, because they were out at sea. And, like, I think that, don't get me wrong, subs are super cool, and I am really excited to, like, go do the mission. And, like,
but also a family's pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just at the point where, like, there's nothing in the world that's going to be more important to me than, like... live and my future child,
whatever,
and things like that. Yeah, like my family is just so much more important. I don't think there's anything that I could. There's nothing that would be more important for me to do.
Well, also I imagine you can get any job pretty much anywhere.
That is another great thing about submarines.
Once you're done, it's not like, wow, I can't find a job. It's pretty much every door's open to whatever you can find.
Well, because I think like the big draw of being submarines. Of like submarines as, you know, employees, from what I understand, is like the nuclear knowledge could kind of take it or leave it depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's the point that like you've been able to do in a year, you have become a proficient like nuclear operator, which is a very short period of time. So like I know guys that, you know, they got out of the submarine force and they went to medical school or they went to law school. And they're like, this is vastly easier than power school and prototype were. So it's like, also, dude, when you think about like...
Well, not only that, you're going through like this period of time, a high period of time of where you're dealing with pressure situations.
Mm-hmm.
Any other pressure job is not really going to like phase you versus coming out at like your age. Like, you know, you're dealing with it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus like at like 23 versus like, all right, at 27 or whatever. It's like I've been dealing with this for 4 or 5 years. Like
and also it's like, you know, you know, when like for example like the rotating shift work. I work 12-hour days and like it at a certain point it just doesn't become that bad. It's like, all right, this is fine.
This is my day.
When another company asks me to work 10-hour days on a completely set schedule, I'm like, oh, sweet. Like, this is easy. Yeah, so, like, when you are comparing things to being on a submarine, everything seems easier. And so, like, because of that, like, normally, like, submarine officers are just generally, like, more willing to do shit that sucks more because to them comparatively it sucks less, right? Like so
suck is less.
Yeah, it sucks less relatively.
Yeah. It's all about the relative suck meter. It's like, man.
Yeah. Also, like just engineering experience is really good. You get a lot of engineering stuff.
I'd say that's pretty useful for like generally anything you want to do.
Yeah, like I took
engineering jobs.
Like I did my final oral board on July 18th. And then I took the fundamentals of engineering exam on the 22nd.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't really study for it. Like, I think generally, I'm gonna be honest, I think anybody can take that exam. If you know how to follow an equation sheet, anybody can take that exam. But like,
I'm not trying to give a cheat sheet.
Yeah, well, they give you like a 700-page equation sheet, and they're like, all right, plug in the numbers. Ooh, like, shiver me timbers. But I'm like, you know, but like, I passed that, and like now I have my, I have the license for engineering training, which means that I can start to get my time towards a professional engineer qualification.
PE.
Yeah, so like, you like just things like that where like just the little qualifications that you can pick up based on your time as a submarine officer.
Coming out with like a PE is it's a pretty nice thing to have.
It would be really nice, but
you don't necessarily need it. I would imagine for like.
It depends on what you want to do.
Depends what you want to do, but I mean, no qualifications ever hurt.
Anymore. Yeah, no, they never hurt.
And I would say for PE, that probably helps quite a bit.
Yeah, like, if you just have the presence of mind to like get them, there are a lot of things that you can pick up based on like your submarine qualification.
While you're out there.
Just while you're out there, that you can just grab them. Yeah. Like Duke University offers, just based on passing Power School and Prototype, if you do that, they will give you 6 credit hours towards a Master's of Engineering Management, like for free.
Pretty nice.
So it's like, I can go, like when I get out, I can go to Duke and finish out that and get that Master's for a little bit less money, which is nice. Also, like Syracuse University will offer any submarine or like nuclear surface guy just a certificate of engineering project management, because they're like, hey, you've clearly proven that you can do it, so we're just going to give you the certification.
You know a thing or two.
Yeah, so it's just things like that like you can just pick up extra stuff. Like, not to rag on the pilots, but like it's the best comparison that I have. Like my friends that are pilots, granted, they're all aerospace majors from the Naval Academy, so like they're probably going to be fine if they want to go do something else. But also, like, generally, pilots are pigeonholed into like going to be pilots. Well, like they're going to get out of the Navy, and then they're going to get out of the Navy, and then they're going to go fly for for American Airlines or Delta.
Yeah, I mean that's not like bad. I mean you can go find like a cargo plane.
Well, no, it's really good money.
It's great money to go fly for like whoever.
It's a sweet gig, but the point
is... But it is like, you have to be a pilot. You can't go be like... Whatever.
You don't have as much of a dynamic...
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Flying planes, though, doesn't seem like the...
Also, dude...
If you're going to force me to fly a plane...
no, poor me.
Poor, yeah. Sorry about it.
But also, just like on the basis of being, an officer, like if I wanted to... Like, dude, I'm a diversity point. Like, veterans count as like a diversity token for universities. Yeah. So like, if I wanted to apply to like med school or law school,
you still get like GI Bill benefit, like.
So not past 5 years, or not 4 or 5 years, I should say. Once I get past 5 years, I can start accruing GI Bill time. So like, if I do 8 years, for example, I'll get 75% of the GI Bill.
Not bad.
So like if I do 7 years, I get like 50%, I think.
So like for instance, when you're talking about like the Duke Masters or whatever, you pretty much go get that for like pretty close
for a discounted price.
Very discounted.
For a discounted price. Yeah. Or like what I'll probably end up doing is keeping that for my kid, because 50% of my Masters is a lot less than 50% of somebody's full 4 years.
Right.
And I can just pass that on to my kid. Oh, so. That's probably what I'll end up doing.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'd want to get my Master's, but the point is like...
I don't know how much it would help you versus like the cost-benefit ratio.
Yeah, I don't know either. There's also like a lot of companies in engineering that will like pay for you to go get your Master's. Like one of my professors at Navy, he was like a reservist.
Yeah.
And he worked at P&G, and they like paid for him to go get his PE.
Oh, okay.
And then on top of that, once he had his PE, they paid him like an extra $20 a year or something like that.
There you go.
They paid him something crazy to have, that qualification.
I'm always about get the people more money.
Yeah, no, like let's.
I'm a big fan of let's get the fellas.
But
let's get everyone paid.
All that to say, like I think that's part of why I'm not going to stay in. Is I just
after
it'd be different if I didn't have any options.
Yeah.
Outside.
Well, didn't they like your retirement plan? It's now like
it's like a 401k base.
Yeah, it's not so much of like if you don't stay in for 20 years, it's not like.
Yeah, because used to right like
you'd have to stay for 20.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's like SOL. Really hate that for you, big dog.
Yep.
But
used to you could do 19 years and 364 days, and if you got out, it was a handshake and a pat on the back. And, like, that's all you got.
You'll get a Happy Meal from McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly. But
hate that for you.
Now it's more of like a 401k based thing. So I contribute every month to my 401k, and then whenever I get out, I can just take all that money with me, merge it into different employees.
Very different.
Yeah. So it kind of.
Would there be any benefit to doing like 10 years to where like you get getting like 100% GI Bill versus like 75%?
So that would be a benefit, but the problem is, past 7 years for me, I would have to go back to sea. So I would have to. Submariners are on a.
Would you say seaman?
Seaman, if you will, but not any seaman. Submariners are on a guaranteed sea to shore rotation. So we go sea, shore, sea, shore, sea, shore. So once I finish that time on my shore tour, I'm either getting out or I have to go back to sea. Like, those are my two options.
Yeah. You can't do another like short tour.
No, and so from there, right, it's like, okay, well, then I'm signing on at that point for an extra like 3 years. Because I'd have to go to department head school and then go be a department head, and then it's like.
How long does it take to get to 100% like GI?
I don't know off the top of my head.
It wouldn't be like 1 year, like you couldn't sign like a 1 year contract.
Well, they won't let you because they know, like, they know what you're trying to do.
System.
They know what you're trying to do, and they're like, tell you what, you can stay in and get that 100% if you want to go do department head. But also, dude, they'll pay you like insane bonuses. Like right now, the bonus. So like once I get to my boat, after I'll have an exam called P&EO.
Yeah. We can just go X's for this. Don't need to disclose your whole bonus unless you want to.
Well, no, I'm not saying what my bonus is. Okay. I'm just, because I won't make this because I'm not signing. But once I pass this exam called P&EO, I have the opportunity to start signing for department head.
Okay.
So I would have to sign like a 7-year contract basically to get me all the way to department head. But here's the kicker. If I sign that 7-year contract, I instantly start making an extra $50,000 a year for all of those 7 years.
For the whole 7 years?
For the whole 7 years, I get an extra $50K a year. Like, they will throw money at you like nobody's business. It's actually crazy. And the craziest part is like, when I'll pin JG, I'll rank up in May.
So, if you, hypothetically, if you sign the 7-year bonus, would that take you to like, how long would that take? Like, does that discount any of your current years? Like, that's a 7 on top of your...
It's not 7 on top of 5, it's 7 from the day you sign.
Oh, okay.
So, you're basically signing...
So, if you sign it right now, you'd have like 4-ish extra years?
Yeah, more or less.
Something like that?
Yeah, something like that where...
That's tough.
Basically, it would take me through department head.
Yeah.
But I would get that huge amount of money. And, like, when I pin JG with sub bonus, like, because sub guys, like, anybody nuclear makes extra pay monthly anyway. So, with that...
Double up sub.
So, with that, plus, like, officer pay, just when I pin JG, I'll be making, like, $120 a year. And then, after that, with that extra 50, I would make $170 a year. Which is
that's
absurd.
Pretty insane.
Which is so much money.
Not like a government job.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
I think there's someone that wanted to cut down on government jobs.
I wish I knew who that person was.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. I mean, actually crazy dummy.
Yeah, so they want guys to sign. They really want.
Yeah, so shout out anyone looking for
a job. If you're looking to join the military,
go.
And you want to do life, like, you can sign. You can be a sub officer.
You can make
so much money. I don't know. I've heard the pilot bonuses are kind of crazy too right now.
I bet so. Well, not only that, pilot once you come out of like if you have the hours met to like fly commercial.
Yeah.
Crazy amount of money you can make there.
Yeah, even like because a lot of even if you fly like jets, if you're like a fighter jet guy.
Yeah.
Like. A lot of companies will pay for you to do the hours on the bigger plane to get qualified on that platform.
Yeah.
To then go fly for them at like American or whatever.
That's what I was talking to like Scott Klein like a couple of years ago. talking to him about like what pilots are coming out to sign for. And it was like an insane amount of money.
A lot of money.
It was like I should have been a pilot. Like,
yeah,
I goofed.
They're making a lot of money.
It's kind of crazy, like, because normally you think about like the military is like, all right, they're making probably no money. Of like, this is probably you don't think about it as like a high paying job.
Well, I'll say this,
but like
it's
like the specialties. I feel like can really get up there.
You can make a lot of money. Also, like generally, enlisted guys in the military don't get a huge paycheck.
Yeah.
But that's also because they don't have to pay for housing. They don't have to pay for food. So like a lot of my paycheck comes from extra allowances that I get. Like a good half of my paycheck is allowances I get to pay for my own housing and pay for my own food. So really like without those allowances, I would only be making like $36,000 a year. So it's with those allowances that I'm making so much more. And like enlisted guys, they just don't get those bonuses because they live on base, because they live in the barracks and they have like the chow hall and stuff.
Whatever's there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a bonus to be. Well, I mean, once you go through like Naval Academy or West Point or Air Force, whatever. I mean, I feel like you're probably set up to probably do pretty well at whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I don't know anybody, whether they're Academy grad or not.
Well, because you know, like
OCS, ROTC, whatever it is,
yeah.
I've never met anybody that was an officer and then was poor.
Yeah, that's
like,
kind of what I'm thinking.
I don't know any homeless officers.
The dudes who were hanging out with, like, Cam, Tanner, you know, Luke, and I was like, all right.
They're going to be all right.
They're going to be all right. These guys are chilling.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, bro. I was like, it's pretty epic. Looking at them.
Well, even, like, my friends that are, like, coming to the wedding.
Sure.
That, like, you know, Joe's got, like, a degree from UCLA. Like, and he's a nuke. He's going to be fine. I'm not worried about Joe being poor ever.
Yeah, you're not worried about Joe on the side of the street.
You know, it's like, unless his gambling problem takes a turn. Like, you know, it's...
Let's start hitting on a, you know, soft 16 stops not falling away.
Yeah, so, I think, like...
Other than that, it's like...
I think, you know...
You're going to be doing okay.
If you're all right to... I think that's the biggest thing, is, like, you got to be willing to suffer a little bit.
You got to tough it out.
If you can thug it out for a couple years...
You're going to be doing pretty good.
You'll be fine, eventually. And that was, like, you know... That's, I think, the nice thing about the military is, like, no matter how bad your day may suck, you know that, like, eventually when you get out, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, you've kind of set yourself up to do well.
Pretty successful.
Yeah, like, even guys that, like... Because, you know, like, with subs, I have a lot of, like, engineering background and stuff that I can market to, like, civilian side. But even guys that are, like, infantry and artillery and stuff like that, like, sure, they don't have a lot of transferable skills. Nothing against them at all. Some of my really good friends, like, Marine, infantry guys, like, not a lot of transferable skills, though. However, like, the fact that they have been in a leadership position and done things for 5 years before getting out, like, that brings at least some experience to the table.
That's like
on top of whatever degree they have, like.
Yeah, I mean, it's like an intense 5 years of like being a manager.
Yeah, more or less.
Like, you can show like, hey, during some of the toughest situations.
Yeah, I'm doing some stuff. Like, at least you have demonstrated ability to, like, be under pressure and and have some leadership skills. So that's like.
Yeah, so when that finance report comes in, it's like, okay.
Yeah, you're not as worried about it.
It's like, and?
Yeah, just like the relativistic comparison.
No one's shooting at me while I'm doing.
Oh, this is easy. This is easy stuff.
It's easy peasy, yeah.
You guys are worried about numbers on a page? You ever been shot?
Yeah, I mean, very different perspective. Yeah, I'd say that probably helps out quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's a different perspective, yeah. That's dope, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you got anything else to plug?
No other big plugs.
You don't throw anyone out? Shout out to anyone?
No, I think I've shouted out who I need to shout out.
Shouted all the people?
Yeah. Shouted them all out.
Alright. We'll call it a wrap.
Alright, sweet.
Until Navy, once it gives me a grouse fit, call it a day.